Hey everybody, welcome to the Last Call Whiskey Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Travis.
Hey, it's Sean, the Dark Cloud.
We are three friends from Western Canada that love all things whiskey. Tonight we will be drinking the GlenDronach 15 Sherry Cask, the Single Cask Nation GlenAllachie 12, and the Ardnamurchan The Midgie. So welcome to the show.
Are you allowed to call people or whiskeys midgies anymore?
That's what it's called, isn't it?
I know, but I just thought of this, and this wasn't meant to be a topic, but are you allowed to call anybody a midgie anymore?
Not really.
It should be called Ardnamurchan, the little person. The little whiskey.
Midgie is what they call like no-see-ums in Scotland that bite the shit out of you if you're there during that season. There's literally a picture of what looks like to us a mosquito on the bottle.
So this is not discrimination or rude to...
We won't get canceled. I don't...
That's all I want to know.
I know this is weird as somebody who's very Irish and leans that way, but I actually have a phobia.
What?
Of midgies.
Oh.
Like, of little people. I like
phobia?
Listen, I can't help it. My whole life I've gotten better as an adult. I used to, you can ask my wife, we used to walk through West Edmonton Mall. I would have to walk to the other side of the mall.
Are you...
This is the best fucking episode ever. I'm airing all of this.
So you can't watch Elf? Because of Peter Dinklage?
It's different.
Oh, it's just different. In person.
What about Jackass? What about Wee Man on Jackass?
Like I said, it's on TV. It's fine.
But if you saw him in real life, you'd be scared that he would get you.
Like within, I went to see Jackass live here, and he was on stage, but I was like, 60 feet away. He ain't gonna be that fast.
They can move quick, man.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Hey, have either of you been to Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay, there's O'Shea's Casino. It's like a little tiny. It used to be like one of the like shitty casinos, but it was so much fun. They'd have like $5 Yukon or double jacks and beer, and it was like the party casino. There's beer pong in the back and stuff. But during the day on the strip, they had a leprechaun out there trying to get people in. And we were walking because we were staying out at Imperial Palace at the time. And we had access to the Flamingo Pool, and the Flamingo Pool is way better. So we'd have to walk past O'Shea's, and I would literally have to walk into the casino and out the side to avoid standing on the corner. Like, listen, it's not something I'm proud of. I can't help it, okay? People are deathly afraid of spiders, snakes. I can handle spiders and snakes. I
don't even know where we go from here.
Okay.
Since I had children, I tried to hide it, but
can I give a similar example to what happened? And I was just talking to my wife about this like 20 minutes ago at the dog park. When my dog, there's like, the dog walkers that have like 10 dogs on leashes.
Yeah.
My dog had a bad experience at some point with a group of dogs on leashes. So at the dog park, my dog sees a group of dogs on leashes, and she literally walks into the bushes and walks up through the bushes for about 30 meters until we're past the dogs.
No.
That's Sean with little people, which is, we're not laughing at little people. We're laughing at Sean right now. This is not discriminatory. We're not trying to get canceled here. This is Sean.
I'll go into more detail off camera. Like, I don't need to say anything.
Okay. Great. Let's do it.
Have like some organization come after me.
We have an East Coast guest today. Let's quickly get into through our or should we? Yeah, let's just do happy hour headlines. Hey?
I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world tonight.
Heroin, sex,
machine guns, flamethrowers, murder. There's no story here. We've just found that ratings go up when we say those words.
All right, happy hour headlines. We got the Glenlivet 85. A note here, did this go for $223,000 at the auction?
Highest.
Yeah, so they did it with the 80 year as well. Bottle number 1 goes to, I want to say, Sotheby's auction, and they auction it off, and all the money goes to charity.
It got $223,000.
Yeah.
Holy. Were either of you invited to that? So I wasn't.
I mean, we know the answer for me, so yeah, that's
it's
crazy.
It's done through like a legit auction house. They did it with the 80-year-old. I don't know what that fetched, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Do you know how many midgies you could buy for $223,000?
So many.
A lot of midgies.
Like the bottle of Midgie whiskey, you could buy a boatload.
Sean, that's what I was talking about. I would not be talking about little people. I was talking about the whiskey midgie.
Yeah, you could buy a lot.
I'm not a jerk. Sean, Hatton Distillery, what the hell's going on over there? Local Edmonton. You're kind of like a sort of a brand person, ambassador almost.
Yeah, so beginning of last year, the owners, Shayna and Chris, made an announcement that they were actively trying to sell Hanson. Part of the deal was that they would stay on. Chris would stay on as the distiller, and Shane would still work in the back end stuff and like the back end of stuff. And yeah, so there had been rumors about partnerships and deals that fell through, and people wanted to buy the distillery but completely change everything. And then finally, the right kind of group came along. It's Token Bitters is part of the new ownership group, and Token partnered with another private investor, and that investor, I guess, has ins at LCBO. They were the ones that helped Chris and Shayna get the vegan oat milk into Ontario. But yeah, and then on top of that, the news broke, and the very next day they launched their newest 7-year whiskey. So yeah, their rye is 7 years old now, and they released that. Same. Nothing's changed really with that part of it. Still single cask releases. As one cask sells out, they'll empty another one. But yeah, I've tried the 7-year. It's fantastic, and obviously the day I went and talked to Shayna and Chris was the day of the 7-year launch, so they were pretty busy. Didn't really get to sit down, chit chat too much, but yeah, it's good for them. I'm pretty sure it's what they wanted, and like I said, Chris is staying on, so none of the products will change. Still make high quality creams, vodkas, gins, and of course whiskey.
That's awesome. I can't wait to try that whiskey. And they're such lovely people.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And it's good to see Jeremy getting bottles as usual, and not me. That's always nice to see.
I'll share mine.
Yours is on its way, Trav.
I should say Token Bitters, the company that bought them. This is another. Remember last night we did our live on Instagram, and Bearded Dave lived across the alley and came and got the bottle. Token Bitters, Keenan lives in my neighborhood.
No way.
Just down the block. Yeah, really, really nice guy.
Very cool.
It's Edmonton's a small city, man. It's everyone knows everybody. It's awesome. Okay, real quick, we got to get through the rest of these because Joshua, our guest, is waiting. Rogue Ales closed in Oregon. This is like not really a whiskey news thing because they did start making whiskey in, I think, 2006. They did the Dead Guy Ale. I don't know how popular it was, but Rogue Ales for like the longest time in Alberta was like the best craft beer you could get. It was like
they were popular, man.
Yeah, Rogue Ales beers were huge, and they're done now. Dead Guy Ale for a while was like, it was like I put that in like my dad's stocking like 3 out of 5 years in a row or something. Like it was that popular. Yeah. They had the Shakespeare Stout, some really
That's
cool.
The one I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gone.
Yeah,
they're done.
Our friends, the Heathens, they had them. They reviewed, I think, their whiskey maybe their vodka, but they had it on one of their episodes a couple years ago. Yeah, it's kind of sad to see. Obviously we know them more for their beers, but yeah, it's and just another one down, and no signs of letting up.
No signs.
Seems like every month we have news of some sort of nightmare scenario, closures, or 35% losses, but yeah, sign of the times, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah, I mostly want to talk about that just because Rogue Ales is like, Alberta now has a cool craft beer scene, but Rogue, before Alberta took off, it was you were buying beers from California and Oregon. That's all we got here, pretty much. So it was that I found that kind of interesting. Sean, Bruichlotti's making vodka now. Can you tell people about it?
Yeah, so they just announced I think they called it X.4, and then looked into it. Yeah, it's the first time that a whiskey that was distilled 4 times has been released. Trav noted, aka single malt vodka. So yeah, I'm a fan of triple distilled whiskey, so I want to try quadruple distilled. Don't really know what's going on there. I haven't really dove into it too much. Fairly new announcement, but I'm sure we'll see something come over here eventually, 6 months down the line. And God, with Bruichlottie and their special releases, who knows how much that'll cost. They'll charge you for taking out the flavor the 4th time.
Bruichlottie has jumped the shark, man. I'm done with Bruichlottie. I'm sorry. I used to love their blue canisters.
Yeah.
And some of their cool releases. And now I'm just like, I don't know what you guys are doing. There's just too much. You know what? It's like they're just doing too much. It's like that skit, and I Think You Should Leave, where he puts on all the makeup and he's like, there's too much fucking shit on me. There's too much fucking shit in Bruichlottie right now. There's too many labels and designs and styles. Just make a couple good whiskeys with the odd release that's limited and leave it at that, and just go back to being whiskey makers. Seriously.
When was the last time you bought a Bruichlottie?
It's been ages.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Ages. And I used to love Laddie 10.
Yep.
I got a couple up there from each of the. Anyways, I'm over Bruichlottie. We can do a grind my malts on Bruichlottie later. Actually, I'm kind of. I didn't know I'd be fired up this early, but I'm fired up. Sean's fired up about his phobias. I'm fired up about Bruichlottie. Jared, do you want to invite Joshua in while Jared? Sean, you should talk about Anoka because you've been out there recently and you're presenting them. Why don't you tell people what's going on in Anoka while we bring Joshua in?
All right, so yeah, December 14th. So this episode will be airing long after that, but that's the date that they're having their whiskey launch event. So yeah, they have official whiskey now. They're going to be releasing their first. Now they're kind of following what Kilkerran did with the Peat and Progress. So their initial few releases will be called Progress Report. Cool thing is it's 250 ml bottles. So, you can buy a few, tuck one away, kind of like how we did with the This Is Not Whiskey stuff, but this is legit whiskey. Multiple casks involved. Unpeated, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was out there a couple weeks ago because I am presenting for them at Canadian Whiskey Week in the big event there. So we handpicked a blend for that, which is also obviously official whiskey. And then they also are releasing, I'm not sure when, but it's called the Moose Hunter. And that is kind of leaning into the Canadian history with the 9.09 rule, 111th rule. And it's 10-year-old rye whiskey, I believe. And they're adding in 9.09% of their peated malt into that.
Ooh,
so
cool.
Yeah, so a little bit of peat with some rye, and it sounds super interesting. I know I've tried a few early iterations of it. But if you know anything about Anoka, it takes a while for Gurpreet to nail down what he's deciding to do. But yeah, so that's 3 different things in the next, month and a half that will be coming out of there. And yeah, super, super cool.
Just have one thing to say about that. Finally, Gurpreet, finally. Like I was tasting stuff that was 18 months old that was blowing me away. I'm like, just release something already. Like, let's go here. All right, let's bring Josh in.
Let's do it. And also, Gurpreet and Anoka is like 8 minutes from Sean's house too. So there's so many close connections on this podcast.
Yeah.
Literally 12 minutes from door to door. I timed it one night when he called me up at 9:30 and was like, "Come, you have to taste this."
Yeah, he does that. He does that a lot. He just calls you up and he's like, "Can you come to the distillery right now?"
The best is when I get a text or a call and he's like, "Hey, where are you? I'm coming up your street. Meet me outside." And we like tried literally distillate that came off the stills an hour ago in my driveway.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Joshua, welcome.
He's muted.
Oh, we can't hear you.
He's a podcaster and he's making rookie
fucking old man rookie rules. Shit. Sorry, guys.
That's all good. We're happy that you're here, man. Thanks for jumping on.
No problem. Good to be with you guys.
We got the owner of Token is only 2 minutes from my house. We got Bearded Dave is about 2 meters away. And then Joshua's only 2 hours time zone wise away. Everyone's close. Everyone's close. Yeah, 3 for you.
Yeah.
3 for me. So we appreciate you jumping on, especially a little bit later for you, Joshua. But let's get into it. We got some questions for you here. So can you? I always like to start with this. Can you tell us, like, introduce yourself, what you do? But I want to know how you got into whiskey. Like, how did you fall in love with it? I always love to hear that.
Yeah, sure. So first off, I founded Single Cask Nation with Jason Johnston Young. He's my business partner. That was back in 2011. So independent bottler here in the U.S. In the Scottish tradition. And I wouldn't say we're the first U.S. based independent bottler in that tradition. There was the Wild Scotsman. He came before us, but we're sort of the longest standing one, I think, at this point, which is kind of cool.
Very.
How did I fall in love with whiskey? So that was at my synagogue, houses of worship. That's where everybody falls in love with whiskey. It was this was around 2004, actually, late 2004. My wife and I were just there at a Friday night service, and afterwards we went into the social hall, and there was a congregant who was just hanging out, and he brought 5 bottles of whiskey with him, as you do.
Best.
And I wasn't a drinker really at all. I didn't really touch any alcohol until my 30s, and I was just really curious to try whiskey. My wife was pregnant with our first daughter at the time. There's no correlation, I promise you. And but I wanted to try whiskey because it just seemed interesting to me. And it was all Scotch whiskey, and I was really interested in Scottish history and UK history. Really, my stepfather is English, and so there's English step family or whatever, and so I'm just sort of interested in that. So anyway, he had Scotch whiskey. I wanted to try. I was interested in it, and so I said, "What whiskey should I try?" And he said, "Well, what flavors do you like?" And I said, "What flavors do you have?" And he said, "Well, do you like sweet? Do you like spicy? Do you like smoky? Do you like?" And I said, "Stop there. I didn't even know that a drink could be smoky. I would like to try that, please." And so he poured in just a little plastic cup, some Lagavulin 16.
Nice.
And I nosed and I tasted that, and it was like being transported back to camping with my dad. Like all those scents, just everything, the campfire and fallen leaves and, all just like some of the best time in my life. And that was just really cool to me. And that was the rabbit hole. That's how I fell in love. Yep.
That's friggin'. That
That
is.
is awesome.
I think we've, even in the old podcast, we've done this and we ask this question pretty much every time. That might be my favorite whiskey origin story.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is,
And then a spider bit me, and all other shit happened.
yeah, like
Man.
super, super unique.
Did I ever go to the wrong churches growing up or what?
Yeah.
So I actually, the next question was going to be for Sean, but I have to ask because Lagavulin 16 was the first dram I ever had. That's my origin story, was Lagavulin 16. My dad's friend died when I was 16 years old, and we were like in my living room the night before the funeral, and my dad just brought out a bottle of Lagavulin 16, and we were smoking cigars in the living room, drinking Lagavulin, and I tell people that to this day, I don't know if he poured it because he wanted me to love Scotch or because he never wanted me to touch his Scotch ever again. And he to this day won't say what the answer to that question is. But you went, so you started there, obviously. And I know you mentioned Single Cask Nation, but I know before Single Cask Nation, there was, you guys had like a blog or a website that where did that start?
Yeah. So I jumped down the rabbit hole, and like for me, the going down that rabbit hole, I wanted to discover more, and so I found blogs back then were like the new thing, and so I just went to Google and I looked for whiskey blogs, and I found Whiskey Fun early on. I shouldn't say that. So I started drinking a little bit here and there, and then a couple years on, I then looked for whiskey blogs, and I found Whiskey Fun, and then later on, I found Dr. Whiskey, and then at some point, I found Whiskey Host, which was Jason's whiskey blog, and I really liked his notes, and then I started my whiskey blog, which was at early on. It was JewishSingleMaltWhiskeySociety.com. Just rolls.
Yeah.
And we changed it. I changed it to JewMalt.com, which is a lot more fun. And anyway, he and I just sort of hit it off. I met him on Twitter before it was a cesspool. And we just sort of like hit it off. We had the same sort of sense of humor. And we were desperate for samples. Like, we didn't have a lot of money to just buy our own bottles, and people weren't sending us samples in those early days. So we were just like sharing what we can and doing our reviews. And then at some point, what we had found was as we grew, looking at our hits at any given time, we had, 1,000, 1,200 people per day visiting one another's blogs.
Wild.
Yeah, it was strange, and it seemed, kind of cool that people were interested in what we thought about other people's whiskey to make a buying decision. That's what I did, looking at other people's blogs, and so I got this idea about 6 months into me knowing Jason, about starting an independent bottler. At that point, we had relationships with an importer here in the U.S., Impex Beverages. They remain our importer to this day, and distributors and distilleries. And I figured we had all these contacts that maybe we could buy whiskey and bottle it and so on and so forth. And so I asked Jason if he'd start a independent bottling company with me. And thankfully he said yes. And we started with 3 casks in the first year, 6 in the second, and just sort of grew and grew and grew. And 2019, we signed Jess on, and she started global sales. That's when we started our relationship with PWS. I want to say, was it 2019, Travis, or was it 2020 maybe?
It was COVID. Yeah, everything
was COVID.
Everyone started stuff during COVID. That's when all the drinking really got heavy. It was
Good
COVID
times.
Yeah.
COVID was fucking awesome.
COVID was great for sales.
Yeah, I remember. Like we were able to get Single Cask Nation stuff up here before that, randomly, like we talked last night, and like I have a coolie from Single Cask Nation with the old labels on it.
Oh wow!
And it's still to this day one of my favorite. And I'm a huge Irish whiskey fan. It's still one of my favorites.
Oh, awesome, man! Cheers! I really appreciate that. I always pegged you for just grain. You're the grain guy, right?
I do love grain, yeah. But my first true love was Irish whiskey. I have more Irish whiskey than anything else.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was Irish. It was Irish before grain. Grain came later. I think I had a little part of that with that one Cambus I gave you that one time, but I could be wrong. You got that coolie, Sean, I think because of a mutual friend. So because we're sponsored by Whiskey Drop, we have to ask this. And I think Graham Usher would be ruffled if we didn't ask this. But how the hell did you meet Graham Usher? and tell us your favorite thing about Graham Usher, and then maybe just like something about Graham Usher that sometimes bugs us a little bit. I'll start. No, you go first, Josh.
This is great. So
it's 11 o'clock out there. You say whatever you want.
Yeah. Oh man. So we met Graham in 2012, and we were, was it 2012 or 2013? It was somewhere around there, and he had come to Whiskey Fest, New York, and he'd come to our table because at that time, you know, the brand is Single Cask Nation, but the company name was Jewish Whiskey Company. And it was me, Jason. We had a third business partner named Seth Klaskin. So it was two Jews and a Scot. So we win, right? Seth is gone, and so now it's just one Jew and a Scot, and in New Yorkshire girl. Anyway, so anyway, at that time, so we had a banner that said, we had two banners, one that said Jewish Whiskey Company, one that said Single Cask Nation. And so Graham came to our table because he's Jewish. And he's like, I never saw a Jewish whiskey company. So he came by and he saw a Jewish whiskey company, and then he saw we were independent bottlers. And so he came to give us shit because he said, I don't like independent bottlers. And he said, there you go. So there's the first. You asked me if I could tell you something that bugged me about Graham. He came to give us shit. That's the first thing that he came to do.
It's the best.
And then he tasted some of our whiskeys, and he said, I thought independent bottlers were shit. And Graham, if and when you're watching, and I know you're going to be watching this or listening to this or whatever, correct me if I'm wrong, because my memories are shit. But if memory serves me, he had it in his head that independent bottlers were getting the whiskey that the distilleries didn't want.
Yeah.
Right? And we're just bottling the bad stuff. And why should I get independently bottled stuff when I can get the better stuff from the distilleries? And then he got to taste our stuff. He said, oh, hold on, this is actually really good. And then he apologized. And then and he said his obeisances, and then we all went on tour to Scotland together in 2014, and just had a wonderful time together. And I think we toured again in 2017. Do I have that right? My memories are really shit, but I know we went in 2014 for sure.
So
yeah.
Graham's daughter Rachel is helping out the shop now. So just for people that don't know, Graham Usher owns Whiskey Drop. He's a retired teacher, former teacher that now runs Whiskey Drop. And so his daughter now helps out at the shop, Rachel, who helps us out with the samples and stuff for the podcast and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so the way you just explained him coming to your booth and being like, I think independent bottlers are shit. I was going to say my favorite and least favorite thing about Graham Usher are the exact same thing. He has no filter. He will. You will walk into his shop and he will tell you exactly what he thinks, and it won't matter if it's positive or negative. And sometimes you're like, man, I wish he didn't. But you always know what you're going to get with him, and that's it's the best. He's
Right?
he's a good friend.
Nice.
Of ours.
Yeah.
I love that story. That's a great origin story of your friendship.
And he came to Connecticut too. He came to New Haven. He met my mom. He met my dad, and I really I've got a lot of time for Graham. He's a real good guy.
Well, and he introduced you guys to us, so it's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
That is cool. So, okay, I got another question here for you.
Yeah.
So when did Single Cask Nation, can you tell us about like being purchased by ASC? And when did that happen? And how did that change things for you guys?
Yeah. So that officially went through the very beginning of January of 2024.
Okay.
And that we were sort of introduced by a mutual friend within the industry. And really it was a lifesaver for the company. Because it was happening during a time when casks of Scotch whiskey were like unobtainium. You either couldn't get them, or if you got them, it was either substandard whiskey that needed to be re-racked, and it was expensive, or it was really good whiskey that was even more expensive.
Right.
And maybe you couldn't use the distillery name, right? So it was just like bad news all around. And we had gotten to a point where it almost didn't make sense to keep going as a company. How much longer could we go if we can't access the thing we want to be bottling the most, which is Scotch whiskey? And we met this friend who introduced us to ASC, who's interested in growing their portfolio. And, we went from this very small company that had about 100 casks of whiskey in our warehouse on January 3rd of 2024 to having about 17,000 casks of whiskey in our warehouse on January 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that shit's holy. Yeah.
Like I'm it's a long story, but I'm now a very proud member of SMWS here.
Nice.
And so I if I'm in town not working, I go to every single outturn that I can. And it's funny because before I became a member, I despised it. I couldn't understand what the whole point of paying money to go drink whiskey that you then have to buy. But I bought a bottle, which got me my initial membership, and then I started going. And it turns out like one of our good friends is now the host at the store here that does it. So that helps. And, a couple of our buddies go every month. So yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, hearing that, you share a warehouse with the same people that bottle that. And so that what you guys are bottling is coming from the same spot as that. And obviously some quality stuff coming out of there.
Yeah.
So my question was going to be taking a step back from the business side. What is your go-to distillery? If you had to pick one out of anything that you've drank or visited, what's your go-to?
Ardnamurchan.
Ooh.
Wow. Funny, we're drinking the Midgie as one of our 3 drafts tonight.
Oh, is that the new one with what last year was Madeira, this year is port, right?
Yeah,
Port.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had that one yet.
Man, that answer came real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you had that locked and loaded.
I was gonna say it earlier, but I didn't want to cut you off, Sean. I had to let you finish to the end.
It's funny because we there was an SMWS kind of the first few from Ardnamurchan that they released was like a showcase on new distilleries, is kind of how they build it. And there is one that I still have. I looked at it today. It is by far the saltiest whiskey I have ever tasted. It's like licking a salt block. But when you add water to it, the salt gets turned up. And it's like, I've never tried anything like that. It blew me away. And it's so strange I had to buy a bottle of it. So
what's the number on that? Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No,
you're just
you can
tell me later. Tell me later. Finish your story. Yeah, go ahead.
You go digging, Sean. You go digging.
Yeah, it's right there. No, it was just, Ardnamurchan, the way that they're doing things, like we're going to get into it further when we taste their whiskey tonight, but we had Connell from Ardnamurchan on our old podcast. He was a guest, and it was, right when they first started releasing actual whiskey. So it was very cool to talk to him right at the very beginning, and now seeing where they are and how they've just, everything that they do and every style that they do and blending of the styles. And it's so cool what they're doing there.
Yeah. I cannot disagree. I think what they're producing right now, their oldest stuff right now is 11 years old. But what they're doing right now, I think eventually people are going to catch on, and they're going to realize, the people that are coveting Springbank are going to catch on that Ardnamurchan is just as fucking great.
100%.
So buy as much Ardnamurchan as possible right now.
I'm turning my camera.
It's so well done. It's made by people who really give a shit, and it's top notch. And I love the people there dearly. And when they produce a bad cask, they talk about it, like the Ardnamurchan, and they talk about it proudly, like, oh, that's a really shit whiskey, and they're just like down to earth people. And I've got nothing but respect for them and what they produce.
Very cool.
I just listened to I messaged you this, but in preparation for this tasting the Ardnamurchan tonight, I actually listened to your podcast because you guys were just at the distillery not that long. Oh. So I listened, and we should give a shout out. One Nation Under Whiskey is, I think, one of the longest running, friggin' coolest whiskey podcasts. And the way you three banter and just chat, even on the car ride to Ardnamurchan, is, I think our podcast would friggin' love to just kind of follow that mold of just three people hanging out and talking about whiskey. But we're releasing an Ardnamurchan in Alberta here next month, the Single Cask Nation Ardnamurchan, the 9-year, I believe.
Yep, yeah. That is correct.
So you can, here's a 2-part question. Tell us about that Ardnamurchan, because this episode is actually launching January 1st, and that whiskey will be released within a couple of weeks from there. And then also tell us how you guys now are selecting casks, you and Jason and Jess, and how that whole process looks. Because we got a bunch of other whiskey nerd questions, but I want to go back to, you have 90 cask samples coming your way or in your hands. How is the process working now with so much whiskey?
Yeah. Okay. So I just need to double check my label, because we've released 3 Ardnamurchans, and I got to make sure I'm giving you the correct information on the one that's coming to you.
Do you need me to give you the information?
Yeah. Can you remind me?
Yes, I have it right here. It is Ardnamurchan.
I used to know them all intimately, and now
Ardnamurchan 9.
Travis.
Ardnamurchan 9-year. You're a young man. Ardnamurchan 9. And if I open the picture here, it is. I do have a picture. It is the Ardnamurchan 9-year first fill bourbon barrel. 59.0% looks like.
Do you have the flavometer in front of you?
No, I do not.
See, this is why I need.
That's all right. We don't need to bore people with that. It's a cool Ardnamurchan coming. But mostly, how you pick a cask like that amongst 90 samples.
Okay, so we have a very straightforward process. I mean, first off, there's a criteria that needs to be met, or how should I say this? The final result needs to be that the whiskey that's chosen needs to be something that we would reach for of a night, and it needs to be something that we would be really proud to share. Like if you came to our house, we'd pull it down from the shelf and share it with you. Come over for a holiday, we'd share it with you, right? That's the thing. And that we would actually open our own wallets for it. Generally speaking, that said, here in the US, we're about to release a 25-year-old Lafroig that I can't personally afford that. But I know we've got a lot of people, within the nation that can, and it's selling for a much better price than it should be, but I can't. Anyway, it has to be priced well. It has to be a drinker, right?
Yeah.
Priced as a drinker. That really is the goal. So, as far as the tasting process goes, typically speaking, if we are tasting either whiskeys from the same distillery or whiskeys from multiple distilleries, we try to go 6 whiskeys at a time, and we line them up and we just nose them all. If the whiskey isn't interesting on the nose, we put them to the side and we will never taste them, just period. We won't waste our taste buds. First off, we do this first thing in the morning. We get up, we rinse our mouths, we brew coffee, we don't brush our teeth. We brew coffee and we go straight into it right in the morning when your palate is fresh.
It's awesome.
And so we ignore the samples that don't have an interesting nose, and then the ones that do, we then sort of go by sort of cask type, and then make. Like we would taste a Teoninic right before we would taste a Tobermory, something like that. You catch my meaning? Or we would taste a second fill bourbon before we would taste a second fill sherry, right?
Right.
Intense flavor, that kind of thing. So the first sip, we ignore flavor completely as best we can, and we focus first and foremost on texture. That is the number one thing we need. Is it has to have it has to be viscous, tongue coating, oily, whatever it is, has to be nice. If it's thin, fuck it, we're not going to do it. And then, am I swearing too much?
No,
You're good.
Okay. And then if the texture's there, then we go and we see if the palate and the finish line up with the nose. If it's telling a good story, whether that story is a consistent one or an interesting one, taking you on a fun ride. It doesn't have to be consistent. It could be super interesting. Whatever it is, that cask is telling a cool story. We just want to figure out what that is, and sometimes it's a flavor one, and sometimes it's a flavor one connected to history, which can be a fun thing to tell, like Ardmore from before 2002, when they were doing direct fire stills and they had that much heavier, sweeter spirit. You get to tell those sorts of stories. That's a consideration, and yeah, so we bottle about 90-ish casks per year, 85 to 90 casks per year at this point, and our approval rate is about 30-ish%, somewhere around there. I think we tasted about 450 samples last year for the 2025 releases, somewhere around there. Math is squishy, but it's somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you like when you hear how you guys do and pick the cask. from the samples. And like Jared and I, that inch gour from like a year ago, it like, because I go away for work for a week at a time and then I come back for a week. So I have a built-in grace period when I pop a bottle. And like one thing I tell everybody about Single Cask Nation is when you initially pop any bottle, you try it, of course, but then let it sit for a couple weeks. Like, I don't know if it's just from the warehouse that you guys are getting it from, but everything just seems tight at first. But as soon as it starts to develop, and that inch gour for months at a time, it changed every single time we cracked it. And same with the Tobermory, the one that you guys said when it first got bottled that it was your whiskey of the year for this year. Yeah. That one is incredible. And I'm like a huge Tobermory fan. So when I heard that we were getting, a decently aged Tobermory, I was ecstatic. And then obviously you mentioned it, the grain. And you 2 grains in our market within 6 months. One's an 8-year Girvan and one's like a 35-year Cambus. And they both, like you said, they both do exactly what you said. And that Girvan might be the biggest like surprise whiskey in the past couple of years for me. Just everybody, turns their nose up to young grain, but when it's cast properly, which a lot of people are starting to do now, it can be incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your dream cask that you guys, if you stumbled upon it, you would bottle it immediately?
Oh my gosh.
Now that you have access to like 18,000 casks, it might be more doable than it ever was.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have a cask of whiskey from this distillery in our warehouse. But I'm really, really desperate to bottle whiskey from the Lochside distillery.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really like that distillery. They've got a really sort of bright, fruity, kind of. I always think of their spirit almost like a lollipop like fruitiness going on with their whiskey, and they've had some like single cask, single blend releases, like independently bottled releases. And I just think that's so freaking cool. And I wouldn't mind bottling a cask like that. I just don't think any exist anymore.
Oh, that is awesome.
I've never had a Lochside.
Me either.
Oh, really? Oh,
I think they like literally the only time I've ever seen one is an auction, and it's not a distillery you hear of or see of, so you kind of just now I'm not going to pass it by next auction. I'll have to see if I can find one.
Dude, Sean. So they have malt and grain releases. So if you find some of their grain, oh, it's so nice. You would really, really appreciate it. In fact, the last one I had was a 33-year-old grain. It's really, really nice. Yeah.
All right, I'm adding it to the list of must searches at every auction. There's only like 7 or 8 a month that we look at.
Josh, what about like of casks that you have bottled and released? Do you have one that stands out to you over the course of Single Cask Nation that you were like, I loved that one? Oh, yeah.
So I wish we could have named this one. Actually, we could have named this one. But when we got the cask, the guy who sold us the cask read the contract wrong. Or he didn't read it wrong, but he didn't tell us how it read in the correct manner. So this bottling here, you see that? Undisclosed 28-year-old?
Yeah.
And it says, 28 years old.
Oloroso Sherry.
Yeah. Speyside region, 1989. Bottled December 2017. This is a 28-year-old Deluane. from all 28 years in an Oloroso sherry butt. And it is just like a big, salty, sugary spice bomb of a Daluane. And it is, in my opinion, the best cask of whiskey that we bottled for my palate. And so apparently the way the cask is just so fucking good. And apparently the way the contract read is that we couldn't say that it was a Daluane, but we could say it was distilled at Daluane, which is what we always say.
Yeah.
Is that the whiskey was distilled at such and such distillery. So,
But
so
also like easy Daluane. How do you say it? How do you say Daluane?
Daluane.
Daluane.
But like easy Daluane. You're Daluane. There's none. We can tell people it's from Daluane.
I know they don't have a brand. Right?
No, you're not.
But we didn't buy it from Diageo, right? We bought it from a broker who I don't think that they had a contract with Diageo. I don't know where they got the cask from. I mean, we do, obviously you taste it and it is undoubtedly Daluane.
Even after all that time in Oloroso.
Yeah, for sure. So it's refill.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, it's refill.
That's pretty dark for refill, though.
Yeah. So in 2009, I'd gotten a bottle of a 28-year-old Daluane from Master of Malt, and I bought it for £90. That's how much they were selling it for when they released that. And I remember tasting that and saying, if I ever became an independent bottler and ever bottled a whiskey of this quality, then I would say job well done. And I swear to God, this is just as good as that. And I want to find that bottle. I like you guys look for shit on auctions. That's one I look for, like early and often. I can never find it, but I think, same distillery, same age, pretty much same cask type, and it's just really gorgeous vintage and really magic whiskey.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Something about those old whiskeys and refill casks, sherry or bourbon. There's just something about them.
Yeah.
Something
Refill
about
magic.
them.
Yeah.
It's almost like a forgotten library type note. I bet.
There you go.
We'll talk about that later.
I just have one final thing. You're just involved in a really cool film. We've kind of seen little snippets and ads about it, and it's all about independent bottlers, as far as what we can tell from the ads. What was that experience like?
That was very cool. So what's funny is, so our part in it, or when we were recorded was during COVID. And we were recorded in, I don't know, sometime 2022, I want to say. And so, it took a few years for the production company to put that all together. And it was really cool watching them piece that story together through the mouths of, all of our friends within the industry, all of the, how should I say this? It's like us independent bottlers, none of us are competitors. We're all friends, right? And we tell this same story over and over and over and over again, because that's our job. It's, we get what an independent bottler is, and you tell the same story over and over and over again, right? So you get it. And so being able to see, I think they filmed or had 80 plus interviews, to see all those people you know, like a chorus of people tell that story and watch them piece it all together. And for us just to play a small part of that felt very cool, right? We felt like a small piece of that storytelling, and felt like you know, being a small part of history in there, which feels very nice. Yeah, we feel very lucky to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. And I think it does such a really nice job if people actually give a shit about whiskey, or just interested in finding out about whiskey, like even mainstream whiskey. If you want to know about blends, find out about it. You know, watch this, because you'll understand blends through independent bottlers, because that's where blends came from, through independent bottlers, right? I mean, it's I'm really excited to have been a part of it, and I want to talk about it early and often. And I kind of pinch myself when I go through Amazon, and then they sort of change the still, like, you know, and every once in a while it's me and Jason, and the still is of me going like this, and I pinch myself. That's me on the screen going like that.
Awesome. And Jason had his Gandalf beard too.
Yeah, he's casting spells and saying "fool of a duck." He's doing it all.
You know, is it the same group that did the Water of Life film?
Yeah,
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sean.
I was just going to say, I think some friends of ours, they were asked to kind of present the Water of Life film here when it released. They had the director came up and did a Q&A after, and I think they are working on trying to get the independent bottler one here. So definitely, hopefully, I missed the other one because I was out of town working, but yeah, I won't. Even if I have to watch it by myself on my couch, I will.
It is. So the Dramfine podcast girls are working on launching this film in Edmonton. And I mean, it's not a secret. We're hoping Joshua will be coming here for the launch. So it'll be super cool. I remember when they did the Water of Life film here, Joshua. And what year was Water of Life? That was like 2020, 2021? 2022?
Yeah, so it was meant to be 2020. COVID then happened.
Yeah.
It was meant to be 2020 live in theaters all around. Then COVID happened. And then it was released, I want to say 2021 Father's Day on PBS initially.
Right.
And then it went sort of all around. Yeah.
If you're a whiskey enthusiast, you need to source that movie out and just watch it. It's great. It's fantastic. And it does focus on Bruichladdich, but it really is just sort of talks about the spirit that we all love. And I remember talking to Greg that night at the premiere, and he was telling me about this independent friggin' film he was working on. And we're talking, again, 4 or 5 years ago. So when you say like, oh, we were interviewed years ago for it, it's just like, it just shows how long these things take. And they're fundraising, they're getting grants, they're doing whatever they can do. But it's a long friggin' time to get these things done. So I'm excited I've seen it. I was lucky enough to see a sneak preview, but I'm really looking forward to the launch. So, Joshua, we gotta let you go. It's midnight in the East Coast.
Gosh,
and you got to get some sleep.
Wow.
We appreciate you coming on. We're looking forward to. We're gonna taste the GlenAllachie Single Cask Nation release that just came out like a month ago here. So we're gonna taste that soon. And again, we have that Ardnamurchan coming next month and some other stuff in Canada. So obviously excited about where it all is heading here. Where does Single Cask Nation go from here? This is kind of like your last question, but you just had this big change. You have all these new casks. You have Jess doing the world market. You have PWS, your best agency probably here in Alberta. Where do you guys, what's next? What's happening?
Well, we're expanding into other markets, that's for sure. PWS being our best. PWS being our best. But just, going into smaller markets. And we've got some things up our sleeves. We've got some other products we're working on. I can't really say too much. They're sort of in earlier stages of development. Next year is our 15th anniversary. And so we're planning some interesting bottlings for our 15th anniversary as well.
Cool.
And that's something that I want to talk to you offline. What do they say? Is that what the kids say? Offline?
I have no idea what the kids are
let's
saying.
put a pin in that. I think that's what the kids say.
The kids are saying 6, 7. Joshua.
Yeah.
6, 7. Bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear 50-year-old grains are perfect celebratory bottles to release.
That is a good point. But yeah, I mean, right now the focus is going to be on our 15th anniversary. We're trying to figure out some really special things to mark that occasion. It hit us like 15 years is actually kind of a remarkable-ish age when you think about it. So we're going to do something there, and like I said, we do have some new sort of products that we're working on that we're really excited about, but it's kind of too early right now to even hint at what it is. We want to make sure we're getting it just right. But you'll be one of the very first to know.
Awesome.
Once we're brave enough to say something.
Well, I will just say this: congratulations on everything so far. I mean, it's really cool. I listen to you and I chat multiple times a week on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I would say you're a friend of mine at this point. So it's cool having you on, but it's really just cool just seeing and just hearing now about like how that all came to where it is now. And again, the podcast, the company, and also just sticking it out through those hard times, like I was messaging with my business partner, Steve, just yesterday, and we kind of are seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And we're like, man, I think things are maybe going to work out here. And he's like, we could have shut it down 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but we just, sometimes you just keep battling and good things happen. So I'm really happy that things worked out for you guys. It's really exciting to see where it's going. So, I don't know. It's awesome. Thanks for coming on. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was so much fun talking with you guys. And, I've been chatting with you, Sean, on Instagram. So nice to be talking with you in person. And I'm looking forward to coming out next year, hopefully to Edmonton, definitely into Ottawa. So that should be fun, into Quebec City as well. So that'll be super fun. So enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to go be at one with the pillow.
Sounds
Cheers.
good. Thank you so much, John.
Line up a cool local show here while you're here and see some local Edmonton musicians.
Oh,
do their
that'd
thing.
be fantastic. Yeah.
And no mosh pits or stage diving, of course.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
We didn't even talk about Joshua's friggin' band. We didn't even interview him about his band. We forgot, but we'll do that next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, man. See ya.
See you, Josh. Man, what a dude.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk music so bad, but I knew if I even brought it up, it was just going to go off on another tangent.
Dude, it would have gone 2 hours if we brought music into the chat.
Yeah, that's like a special side episode where we just...
Yeah. We, like, him and I talk music more than we talk whiskey on Instagram. Like, he'll see something, like, I'll post, like, a song just on my stories with a bottle. And he's like, oh, dude, man, we toured with that band when they were called something completely different. It's like, Jesus Christ.
So rad.
He's one of the most interesting men I've ever met. Like and again, I chat with you guys more than almost anybody. I chat with Joshua literally almost just as much. And like I just run ideas by him. I send him pictures of the status of the North Saskatchewan River here in Edmonton and like how icy it is. So today I was like, it's now fully iced. Because he's coming here in January. He's like, I can't wait to see how cold it is there.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's so cool, man, just to work and to be associated with awesome people. Like it's just the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jer.
Yeah.
Is this where we do our pee music?
I could pee.
We got to review the whiskeys next. You already have the pee music ready on your computer, I'm guessing.
Yeah. We can just go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, boys, we're back. We're feeling lighter.
Yeah.
Smiles on our faces, and let's drink some whiskey. I'm excited to jump into these.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm tasting them for the first time right now. So
I did a quick taste last night in the wee hours of the night. These ones I poured a couple hours before we started, though, which is the same thing I did last time. And yeah, let's get into it. So we're starting with the GlenDronach 15.
yeah.
The Sherry Cask.
GlenDronach 15. Then we're going to do the Single Cask Nation GlenAllachie 12, which is kind of funny. 2 GlenAllachie 12s in 3 episodes, but totally different.
Yep.
Completely different.
And then Ardnamurchan the Sean Phobia whiskey.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think we should acknowledge the 3 of us have been really busy, and we had a cloud cast that we launched, and we have not spent as much time with these whiskeys as we typically do for these shows. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of a feeling out of the drams. But I think maybe Sean can just kick off the GlenDronach 15. I know you know this brand well. What's the story about GlenDronach 15 revival? And there's like a backstory to why it was a revival, but then there's also people that are like, this version isn't as good as the last version, etc. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, but it was like while I was cooking supper, so I didn't really catch it all.
Yeah. So basically, I've talked about it lots on my Instagram page, and we've talked about it different podcasts. But GlenDronach, pre-Billy Walker, was closed for 6 years. So in those 6 years, obviously no whiskey was made, and then Billy Walker stepped in, bought the distillery as well as all the aging stock. And he decided that he didn't want to do away with the age statements. Even though there was a 6-year period where they weren't making whiskey. So each one of the age statements, so 12, 15, 18, and 21, they all had what were known as the unicorn years. So, the 12-year-old was 2013 was its magical year. And then the 15 would have been 2016. Now, what actually happened was they didn't have enough stock to keep the 15 year going all the way through to its actual unicorn year. So they discontinued it for a 2 or 3 year period. And then obviously once the stuff that Billy Walker started distilling when they bought it, when it became 15 years old, then they relaunched it. And that's where the name Revival comes from. It's also a hat tip to Billy Walker reviving the GlenDronach distillery altogether. So it's kind of where it comes from. But if you've tasted any of like the 12, the 18, and 21 did go through their full 6-year period where every year during those 6 magical years, the youngest stock in there, even though it had an age statement, had to be older. So the 2013 releases of GlenDronach 12 actually had 18-year-old whiskey, was the youngest that it possibly could have been. So obviously that's kind of where the opinions that, oh, the new revival isn't as good. Well, the stuff right before they discontinued it was already older than 15 years. So, yeah, it is what it is. If like for me, the first GlenDronach 12s I ever tasted were those unicorn years. So then obviously I'm tasting 17, 18-year-old whiskey. And then the next year that comes out, it's back down to 12 years old. You're going to notice that difference. So I think that's kind of where the opinions came from. But I mean, I haven't tasted the 15 in a long time, and the first impressions are pretty damn good.
Can I just say, Jared, we've talked about this a lot, but on this podcast, you're here for your pretty pictures and your editing. I'm here for my handsome good looks. Sean is here because he actually knows shit.
He knows so much. So much.
Like I've heard all of that before, but not enough to be able to put that all together the way he just did with years.
Totally.
And I'm going to give him most valuable podcaster, MVP so far today.
MVP goes to Dark Cloud.
Yeah, most valuable podcaster. Just because of that. Whatever you do the rest of the night, Sean, you're still my MVP.
All right, sounds good.
So I watched a Scotch Test Dummies video on this whiskey today, and they compared a unicorn year GlenDronach 15 to this one, and they talked about mouthfeel not being quite there. They said the texture definitely wasn't as good as the older versions. They said it was just a little bit lacking, I guess, compared to the unicorn years. But maybe, I guess, I don't know. Jared, what are you thinking?
Dude, well, I think if any of us tried any of those older releases, like I remember, was it one of you, Sean, somebody sampled that to me? Was it one of you guys?
It was either me or Josh. I know for years, for like a 2 or 3 year period, anytime I went dusty hunting, I would scoop up any of the 2013 12-year-olds. And I probably ended up buying like 12 to 15 of them that I found. And then Josh ended up buying a lot of them from me. I kept a couple because there was a few that the distillation date is actually my birthday of or the bottling date was my birth date of 2013. So I kept a couple of those. But yeah, it was either me or Josh. It was my guess.
Yeah, it had to have been one of you two. So anybody that had like tried any of those releases, you're like, this is the best 12 year I've ever had, right? Like they were so good. But you know what? I think obviously, especially if you know the backstory of everything, you got one sitting there.
This is a newer one.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I have one sitting right there.
But if you know the story, you like, all of us have the sense to be like, okay, it's not going to be the same. My first reaction drinking this last night is it does everything that I want it to do as a Sherry Cask GlenDronach. Like there is nothing wrong with this whiskey, right? And I'm sure if you're sitting there doing it side by side with one of the older releases, yeah, you're going to pull differences out of it. Vacuum test drinking this, nothing wrong with it.
No.
Yeah.
If we in a vacuum, like you said, without all the background, without everything, crack this bottle, you don't know the price, you don't know anything about it. This is very nice. I would say definitely it's I don't even want to say thin because I don't think it's thin.
Mm-mm.
It's not thin, but it's not super viscous either. It's not chewy like maybe a dram that Joshua from Single Cask Nation would want to pick.
Totally.
But yeah, I agree with you, Jared.
It's somebody. So I actually had this blind a few nights ago as part of the Advent calendar that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody put this whiskey in there. We all try them blind at 8 p.m. Whoever's day it is goes into the chat and they reveal what the whiskey was. And so I was sipping this one, and man, that day I was like, this is one of the better ones we've had, actually. I think, so far. And you're tasting blind. And then when he revealed, I was like, no way. I was like, we get to drink this on the podcast in like 3 nights.
Yeah, and also you're drinking it blind. So we're drinking it now with that whole history Sean just gave us, and then all the other stuff that we know. So we have like this bias going into this whiskey that's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as good as previous versions. But like you said, drinking it blind, you're like, holy shit, this is just a really nice dram. Sean, you've probably had more of the older stuff than Jerry or I. Not probably, you 100% have. Give us just sort of your thoughts of how you look at it now versus
Okay, so
as someone who's had both more than us.
Yeah, so again, I haven't drank any GlenDronach in probably like distillery releases in a few years. Part of that might have been because of the I came into it during the unicorn years. But the 15, like I did try it before it got discontinued, and I don't think I got to try it after. So this is my first time with the new stuff, and my first impressions are this tastes like GlenDronach. It tastes, very well done. Now, another controversy that kind of came up is when the new owners took over, they wanted, like, Billy Walker, as far as I know, when Billy Walker owned it, they weren't members of the SWA, the Scotch Whisky Association. So they kind of produced it however they did. And then the new owners wanted to be included in the SWA. So they were kind of told, well, the way that you produce it, you're actually chill filtering it, but it's not to the extent of what everybody knows as chill filtration. So whether that's like a couple degrees warmer than most, but Billy Walker didn't consider it chill filtered. So it was non-chill filtered when he did it. But in order to comply with SWA, the new owners had to take that off the labels. And that was a huge thing when that happened. It was, you're changing it, first we went through this unicorn phase, and now you're telling us it's chill filtered, and like nothing in the way it was produced changed. It was just, to be a member of the SWA, they had to comply with the standards that they set. So, I mean, to me, chill filtration, I love chill filtered whiskeys. Of course I do. But yeah, like without comparing this is a damn good whiskey. And
Totally.
I'm actually glad that this is one of the ones that we picked for this episode.
Can I point out the fun fact that I added on the spreadsheet? This is actually Billy Walker GlenDronach.
Yep.
He left GlenDronach in 2016. This whiskey would have been distilled in about 2010-ish. So this is actually this is Billy Walker GlenDronach, whereas the next whiskey we're having, which is a GlenAllachie, is not Billy Walker GlenAllachie.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of cool. We're kind of like reversing a bit here. But this is when Billy Walker was running the distillery, which is kind of neat. It's kind of a fun fact. I will also add one other cool fun fact. This is an old distillery, 1823.
Yeah.
Most of the older distilleries started in the late 1800s. This one it was the second legal distillery in Scotland after the Excise Act in 1823. So 1826, 3 years after, it's like the second legal distillery in Scotland, which is quite cool. Not the second oldest, the second legal distillery in Scotland.
Yeah.
That's just nerdy stuff. I'll read the producer notes, and then let's just give some quick kind of like summary of what we think of the actual notes themselves. This classic malt whiskey is aged in PX sherry and Oloroso sherry casks with expressions of dark fruit, honey, and chocolate in abundance. Chocolate in abundance is interesting. I get hints of it. I don't know about abundance. The palate shows a complex array of herbal bitters, dark fruit, and chocolate with notes of honey. Rich and full flavor, leading to a warm finish. Warm finish for sure. I 100% agree that the honey note is there in this dram. I just don't know if I necessarily agree with all the dark fruits that they're alluding to in their notes. It's one of those whiskeys where I feel like the sherry is not as prominent to get like those heavy dark fruits. It's like
Right.
the ones we had before where it's like a fruit pie or like a lighter fruit note, but not those dark like raisins and dates fruit notes. That's just, I don't know.
And I think that's the main difference between the
I shouldn't say raisins or dates. Sorry.
like the stuff before, like during the unicorn years. I mean, Billy Walker's obviously famous for his wood management and his casks and stuff. So, whether or not, maybe they're sourcing different sherry casks or not as good sherry casks, not as good. That's a bad word. Like not as active. Because like you said, there's like the honey sweetness, and you do get the sherry notes, but it's not over the top like they were before.
Yeah, Jared, your notes, you picked up a little bit more of those dark fruit notes and that richness.
I did last night. Yeah. I would say tonight though, for sure the honey is shining through more, and it's had more time out in the air and out in the open tonight. But man, there's nothing wrong with this whiskey. I could sip this and be happy with it pretty much any night of the week.
I don't think any of us are going to disagree on that. I think where the disagreement might come is on the end part where we do the buy or not buy. That's, I think, where this will come into question. And let's leave that for the end. Okay. Whiskey number 2. We just had the owner of this company, Single Cask Nation, GlenAllachie 12, which is kind of cool because we had the distillery version of GlenAllachie 12 2 episodes ago. I did buy a bottle. You can't see it, but it's up there. I'm going to pour it for my drunk uncle at Christmas.
Nice.
And I'm just going to be like, here, man, here's a whiskey. You'll love it. It's great. But this is going to be a completely different edition of GlenAllachie 12. So yeah, I don't know. Let's dive into this. We have not done a lot of independently bottled scotches so far. So
okay. Can I start?
Yeah.
My first note on this last night, and it's the same today. This nose is something else. Like when this is the most like complex and character-filled GlenAllachie I've ever had.
And it's crazy because it's refill. It's a refill Oloroso hogshead finish, not even maturation.
Yeah, when have you ever tasted a GlenAllachie like this? Never.
Not since it was revived.
This is what's so cool about this. This is not Billy Walker distillate, but Billy Walker now owns GlenAllachie.
Yeah.
But Billy Walker would not release this as an official GlenAllachie release, I don't think. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. Most of his releases are pretty sherry forward.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think if somebody poured this for me blind, GlenAllachie would not be my guess.
No,
not for what you know GlenAllachie to be.
Totally.
Sean, what's yours on this one? The 12-year
spicy little number.
That's all you have to say about this whiskey, Sean? Spicy little number.
Just trying to compose myself a bit.
It's his first time tasting it, right?
Normally he needs way more time to compose his notes. Okay, how about I do this? I'll read the ABV, 59.3%. That's hot.
It tastes like 50, high 50s.
Yeah, it's definitely tastes like high ABV, which we've said before with Single Cask Nation. Typically, these bottles, you pour them, you open the bottle, and you let them sit for a while. Let them open up. Okay, on the nose, delicately spiced with cedar cigar boxes and rich, ripe dates. Toasted pecans and cherry cordials peek in around the edges of the glass. On the palate, warming and rich with toasted hazelnuts, dark chocolate, and dark roast coffee beans. But there's a fruitiness that lightens the overall experience. That note I love from the guys at Single Cask Nation, that there's a fruitiness that kind of comes in and lightens the overall experience. And it says, think warm apple pie a la mode. That note right at the end, it's like there's something that's still kind of like, it's like dark in a way, but then there's something that just kind of pops as well.
It's like with the Jeremy put it in his notes, and reading that, like the dark chocolate, the dark roast coffee beans, it's almost like a bitterness right off the hop. And then that fruitiness takes over. And like Jeremy said, it like a warm dessert fruitiness. It's like, I don't know about apple pie. I kind of get more of like an apple crumble because there's that maltiness to it, which you get towards the end once the fruitiness takes over. That malt kind of shines a bit, and it's there. Like I haven't taken a sip in a minute or two. I can still taste it in my mouth. Like it's warm, it's hot, but once you get acclimatized to it, it's so nice. It's an adventure. It's a journey.
I was gonna say, like, not to go all McCalder on this, but
yeah, I was
like,
just gonna say
it takes you on a nice little journey. Like, you get a bit of bitterness up front, and then it opens up to this like warm kind of fruit dessert. Like, it's awesome.
Can I just say that Sean is now at the point of his whiskey journey where he's differentiating between apple pie and apple crumble. That to me is fucking amazing. You're like, someone's like, oh, this tastes like apple pie. I'm like, no. Apple crumble.
Apple crumble.
I'm like, it's the fucking same thing, Sean. What's the difference? Is it just the crumble on top? It's still apples cooked in an oven.
Yeah, it's stewed apples for sure, but like a pie crust is shit compared to crumble. The crumble
you
has like
more
spice in it.
Spice and sweetness, and I hear you.
Costco apple crumble pie right now for $11.99. You put that beside me, I'm eating that whole pie.
I want that right now. Right now.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, we actually bought not from Costco, from Save-On, but we bought one maybe my last days off. We were just I think we ran to grab bread. My kids love the Save-On homemade bread. And of course, right next to the bread is all the pastries. So we bought a full apple crumble pie. Yeah, it didn't last very long.
Nor should it. Pie's delicious. There's nothing else to be said. Is anyone putting water in? I just put a little bit of water in. It's 59%. I preach to people all the time that water opens up whiskeys. I just put a little bit in. I'm just kind of, is anyone else thinking about it? Or are you guys good at 59?
I haven't done it. I rarely do that unless somebody goes, put a drop of water in it. Like if one of you two were like, try this whiskey, but put a drop of water in it, then I would. But other than that, I'm typically drinking at whatever ABV it's at. But dude, I don't know. I think I've been drinking a lot of cask strength lately because this is not
hitting 59.
No, not at all.
Don, you kind of whined a little bit there and said it tasted high 50s.
Yeah, to me it was, and I've been drinking cask strength this whole week off. This came in hot for sure. Now the second sip toned down a bit, so maybe like 53 to 55, I'd say it drinks like. But I did add water. Like I'm the same as Jared. I never add water when I'm just sipping. The only time I usually do is if I'm doing like an actual review for my website or magazine or whatever. But yeah, I added more water than I wanted to out of a glass. But the nose actually it pops a little bit more. Maybe not as full flavored, but the brightness kind of pops. So I'm curious to see what it'll taste like with some.
When you said
what?
When you said brightness pops, as I was sipping it, I was thinking it does almost make it like just almost like a more of a brighter dram.
Mhm.
with a little bit of water. Joshua just in his interview talked all about texture and how they turn every whiskey away without texture. I mean, the texture on this is fantastic.
It's actually when he was talking about that in their process, all of a sudden, all of these Single Cask Nation releases that I've tried and loved, I was kind of like, oh yeah, like they all have that in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's their number one thing. It's their number one thing. And then when you actually have whiskey without texture, you're like, oh, it's definitely missing texture.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
notice it immediately.
So,
Okay.
Jer, I want to share something before we go on. Now, if you don't want to add water straight to your whiskey, the last SMWS on Thursday night, me and Northern Cigar Graham, we were sitting there, and this couple that we know were sitting across the room from us. And Graham said, I don't want to ruin the whiskey, but I want to see what it's like watered down. So what he did is he drank a full mouthful of water, and before he totally let it go out of his mouth, he then sipped the whiskey. So there's still a little bit of water in, kind of coating his mouth. And then he dubbed the term wet mouth. He wet mouthed that dram. And it was like an ongoing joke.
It's not a bad idea.
But it's, so if you have a dram and you don't want to put water straight into it, take a sip of water, swallow it, but don't totally flush the water right out, and then take a sip. And we did that with some of the drams, and it was eye-opening that it did change what you were tasting.
That's a good idea. Does it work with Guinness? Can I wet mouth with Guinness?
Just about to say that. I was waiting for him to stop talking. I was like, what if I swish Guinness in my mouth and then have a sip of whiskey? What's that called? Guinnessing it.
I'm not even going to go there.
I was literally waiting for Sean to stop talking, and you beat me to it. All right, let's do whiskey. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, we were laughing the whole night, and Woodley, of course, is hosting, and he has no idea what the hell we're giggling about the people across the room. And every time he would stop talking, he would be like, Did you wet mouth that?
It's not a bad idea though.
I like it.
Adding drops.
It works.
Yeah. Okay. Whiskey number 3. It's our least expensive of the night, but it's our only one with a little bit of peat. So we put it third. It is the Ardnamurchan Joshua Hatton from Single Cask Nation's favorite distillery, right? That's what he said?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said, fuck Springbank, buy Ardnamurchan. If you're a collector, stop buying Springbank, start loading up on Ardnamurchan, according to Josh Hatton. If you lose all your money on those investments, don't call Josh Hatton.
Dude, I've seen it in chats and stuff that I'm part of, that Ardnamurchan is going that way quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a Delphi behind them. They're good. So this is the Midgie, the little person. No, a Midgie is not. Sean is not afraid of midgies.
No, well,
what is Sean? What can you explain that again?
What is a Midgie?
So the Midgie is basically so here in Alberta we have mosquitoes, which are the size of crows, and then you always see if you're out riding your bike or going for a walk, you see these little tiny clouds of, we call them no-see-ums here. But what they are is tiny little sand flies, I guess. But they're everywhere, especially in the spring and early summer, but they bite there. So they're very closely related to what we consider mosquitoes. They're just way smaller there. But you go hiking in the Highlands, and that time of year, you have to get fully covered, and they will attack you and leave full on. A mosquito bite is one thing, but they're full on rash from them getting to your skin.
So this is the equivalent of Anoka naming one of their whiskeys the Mosquito.
Kinda, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I don't know why you would name a whiskey. No offense, because we haven't even talked about it yet. But you're naming it after an annoying pest.
Yeah.
It's part of their heritage, Trav.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Sorry, I shouldn't knock it. All right. It is 14 barrels in this in this release, which is very, very limited.
No.
Oh,
You read that
sorry.
wrong.
Nope, sorry. 14 barrels of unpeated ex-American bourbon barrels, 12 barrels of peated ex-bourbon, 25 barrels of unpeated ruby port barriques, and 1 peated sherry butt. That's a cool blend, actually.
Holy, that's very
So
cool.
that's 14, 26, 51, 52 barrels in the release. That's still pretty small overall.
So that is literally the image of the Midgie on the bottle.
Okay, I'm buying
Looks
one
like
just
a
for
little-
that. I'm buying one
It
just
looks
for
like
that.
a little mosquito.
I'm buying one
That's
just for
awesome.
that now. Yeah, I don't mind it now. Actually, if Gurpreet from Anoka is listening, name your first whiskey the Mosquito. Anoka.
Or the no-see-ums? Is that what you
Yeah, the no seams. So yeah, this is a really cool blend of casks. 48%. We've never tried this. I hadn't even heard about this till it came across as an option for this podcast.
No, and this is non-age statement, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Now, the distillery started in 2014, so their oldest whiskey is 11 years.
Right.
As Joshua mentioned. I don't know if this stuff is 11 years old or not. It doesn't taste young, but it doesn't taste like super old either. A couple quick things while you guys are nosing and tasting this one, because I know we haven't dove deep on this. So I listened to the One Nation Under Whiskey podcast where they toured the distillery, and I learned a few things. They're like kind of an eco distillery. So Adelphi owns them, but they're like an eco distillery. So they're trying to do things well for the environment. So they actually use wood chips to heat all of their equipment as well as the visitor center. And the guy kind of said, like, I know wood chips, like people are like, oh, you're cutting down trees. So what they're doing is they're actually cutting down trees just not too far from the distillery that are not native to Scotland. I guess during World War I, they planted a whole bunch of trees not native to Scotland. So they're cutting those trees out and they're replanting native Scotland trees 2-to-1 to the ones they're cutting down. And those wood chips are fueling the entire operation. It's pretty cool, I think.
I approve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember on the old podcast, Connell was telling us about all these like eco initiatives that they had going on there, and basically if like they lose power, they can still run, which is crazy.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I heard, which is really cool, is their mash tun is a certain width. And I guess they want it to be wider, but it's a certain width. And it's because there's a bridge that you have to take to get to Ardnamurchan Distillery, and it's a very narrow bridge. So they had to design the equipment in the distillery to only be so wide so it could fit across the bridge.
No way.
That's a really cool fun fact, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So yeah, is it a limited edition or is this going to be a core release?
Well, so Josh was saying that the first release of the Midgie was Madeira or Marsala, something like that, and then this one is port. So I think there is like maybe it's an annual release or every couple of years, but I know when this first got announced that it was coming to Canada, that people were like, this was one of the ones that people were going crazy about, and the fact that the price that it is in Alberta. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
We'll talk about that after. But yeah, it's peated and unpeated barrels, but 25 unpeated ruby port barriques is kind of like almost half of the overall blend. But I would say, are you getting like tons of port on this?
No, it's
very well balanced.
It's not jammy. Like I expect port to be jammy, like very jam-like. You get the lighter berry fruits, but I don't know about jam. Like, if you want to go over the producer notes, they literally say that. I don't get that. I get, maybe strawberries off the vine. I don't get strawberry jam by any means.
No, I would go more. So producer's notes. What's a gammon ham? Is that like a specific pig? Gammon
I'm
ham?
looking it up.
Gammon ham with torched pineapple, prunes dipped in salt. I love that note. Strawberry jam on a salty cracker. So there's a lot of salty notes. Almond oil, coconut macaroon. I gotta say, macaroons are one of the best fucking chocolates on the market. And spearmint, which I don't get any spearmint. On the palate, salt baked pear. Again, more salt. Meadow sweet. I would actually agree with the meadow note. Wildflowers, lemon thyme, sultanas, cherrywood embers, cocoa powder, and pink peppercorns. They're going in a whole fucking bunch of directions with those producer notes.
So when gammon is a cured hind leg of pork sold raw in the UK and Ireland that becomes ham once it is cooked.
So you're telling me they're distinguishing between one fucking part of the pig with these?
No,
notes?
it's like it's raw. It's when we buy hams here, they're pre-cooked or cured. This is like a raw leg of pork that it becomes ham once it's cooked.
So when they sat in the office creating these tasting notes, they're like, gammon ham. Millions of people around the world are going to understand what gammon ham is when nobody ever has tasted gammon ham in the world. Like this is where tasting notes, no offense to Ardnamurchan, who I think is doing some cool things. Gammon ham's a fucking terrible tasting note. Make it make sense for me.
It's marzipan, treacle.
No, marzipan and treacle we've all figured out by now. Gammon ham? No one knows. No one's ever heard of that. Just say ham. If you want to say ham, say ham. Don't get all fancy on me.
Leg of ham with torched pineapple.
In the buy or not buy segment, that's going to affect my decision.
Leg of ham with torched pineapple. Did you see my note on this from last night?
No, let's check it out.
So I said the palate starts off with almost salted meat, but then it.
You said salted before.
I said
before seeing those notes.
I said salted meat. Listen to this.
You should have said salted gammon ham.
And then it opens up into like a citrus prepared entree that you're like eating on a beach somewhere.
What a note, Jer. That's a hell of a note. I feel like you nailed it because the beach is the saltiness that they keep alluding to.
You're not taking away the MVP status, but that is an MVP style note right there.
Thank you, boys.
That's a most valuable MVT, most valuable taster.
Yeah.
That is
right.
Jared,
but does that not like?
No, you nailed it.
That's exact what it is.
Right.
Except you missed the gammon ham part.
Yeah.
But salted meat.
If you had said gammon ham, we might have shut this podcast down.
If I had said that, I'm pretty sure Ardnamurchan would have like walked through my door and handed me an award.
Yeah.
They get enough of them. I'm sure they can spare one for you.
Can I just say this whiskey, I love how they didn't overdo the port.
Yeah.
I really love how they didn't overdo the peat. It's a very fucking enjoyable whiskey, guys.
They did a good job. It all blends really nicely.
With everything going into it, the different barrels, the different, peat, unpeated, sherry, port, bourbon. It's so complex, but it's balanced too. Like
masterfully blended.
Nothing juts out in like an off direction at all.
I would.
It's just funny that they mentioned salt so many times because, like I was telling Josh, like one of the SMWS ones I have is the saltiest whiskey I've ever tasted.
Can I admit something to you guys right here, right now, in front of the world, in front of our million listeners,
and your mom?
We had 14 last. We had 14 last episode. We're up to 1 million. I have a real hard time with this whole. I don't do a good job of picking out salty notes. I'm not like, what is it that tells you it's a salty dram? And you both picked it out. What is it about it that makes it a salty dram to you? People are gonna be like, this guy owns a fucking whiskey company. He doesn't know.
It's
I don't. Is it just you feel thirsty after, like you want some, like a Diet Pepsi?
No, it's like, and this one wouldn't be like if I compare it, I have an old Pulteney single cask.
Yeah, the old Pulteney is super salty apparently, but
And like I sip that and you're almost taken aback by it. You're like,
Really?
oh, that is like pure
like if
salt.
you put too much salt in the water when you're boiling pasta.
Totally.
Yeah, like
Totally.
Or like, I don't know if you guys got canker sores when you were younger and your mom's always like,
Yes.
drink this salt water and swish it around your mouth. That's like legit that SMWS one. That's how salty it is.
But what makes this
Yeah.
salty? What makes this salty?
It's no, this one's like how do I describe this one? It's like
salty, apparently.
if you picture like some kind of charcuterie tray or something, and there's like a meat on there that is heavily
Prosciutto.
salted.
Prosciutto.
Yeah. That's more what I'm pulling, not just like a straight salt.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is it a drying thing too, though? Because salt, is it like is that
It makes my mouth go like this.
that's the salty note?
Yeah.
Can I just say, I went to the Italian center shop today and picked up some prosciutto because we always have prosciutto, and my kid loves olives. He's 10 years old. He loves olives and
Awesome.
stinky cheese. Those are like two of his favorite things.
My 10-year-old loves that stuff too.
Oh man, we got to introduce him.
Yeah.
But where was I going? Olives, stinky cheese, salty.
Prosciutto.
I picked up some prosciutto, brought it home. My wife said that's the best prosciutto I've ever had. And I have no idea what the difference was because we've been buying prosciutto from the same shop for, 15 years. She said it's the best prosciutto I've ever had. Was it more salty maybe?
It's just the right amount of salt, but I don't think you can taste it.
It's just when you go like that.
Yeah.
All right.
ASMR.
I actually think we're educating people here though. I actually think we are. Because I didn't know what that salty note meant. And I've been drinking whiskey for a long time.
I don't know. I still get that salty. It's like not salty. It's like cured meat, basically. I
Yeah.
get that even on the finish, like a minute or two after I've sipped. It's still that's the note that sticks around.
It's there, but it's not like the old Pulteney. That is like a saltwater rinsing your mouth type salt note on it. This is like a meat, like a salted meat.
I love it. All right. I think we've talked about the whiskeys enough. Well, let's just say Ardnamurchan The Midgie. I would say
It's great.
it's like GlenDronach 15 the Revival. Both of them, you're drinking them, you're like, I love this whiskey. I could pour this for a lot of people.
100%.
Sean?
The Midgie is almost leaning towards the kind of enthusiast dram. Just it's very complex.
Really?
I think that salty beachy note could turn people off if you're not, but you know what? Some people drink Lagavulin 16 as their first ever dram and they fall in love with whiskey. So
It's true.
Can we say how prevalent is the peat in this? I would say it's very minimal.
Yeah, I agree. It's there.
Yeah,
it's for sure there. But it's
like
not.
you said, it's like a distant. It's like you're on a beach, and the people on the beach across the river from you are having a fire.
Yeah, it's not like walking right by the fire where you have to wash your clothes the next day.
Right.
No,
It's far enough away. The midgies are all over you because you're not close enough to the smoke.
exactly.
The midgies are biting you, and you wish you were closer to the smoke.
I like
Can I be fair? I actually wish there was a touch more smoke in this. Based on that, I knew it was peated. I think I could pour this for almost anyone, but we'll skip that part. Let's go through the three. Okay, this is gonna be a tough one, boys, because there's some
So
extreme bias in this edition.
I got a wet mouth. This Midgie.
Shout out to Grant.
I got
Nice cigar.
Okay, well, I'm gonna wet Guinness it. Mm.
You know what?
Mm.
Sorry, I had to swallow the wet mouth there. The port actually comes through a little bit more with the wet mouth.
I would say the salt comes out more with the Guinness.
I agree.
That makes sense.
I totally agree.
If you wet Guinness it, the salt really pops.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to mix it with
the Midgie.
all dressed potato chips next. You eat a potato chip and then you sip it and you're like, it's really salty. Really salty. Okay. Whiskey number 1. I think this is going to be a fun conversation because we have a crazy variety in terms of like distillery releases, single cask, and everything. Yeah, talkies. Sean, we're trying to do buy or not buy. Is this where you bring out your Dodgers shirt too and just show it off?
No, I'm actually repping history.
The old
Lost in translation. Look at the spelling on that shirt.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Okay, whiskey number 1. GlenDronach Revival, not as good as the old stuff. This whiskey is about $200. It's available in Alberta, LCBO, and BC. I didn't find it in SAQ, which means either they're just waiting for a new shipment or maybe they just don't have it for a bit. $200, 15-year at, was it 46? 46%.
46%. 200?
It's $200.
That's going to be a problem for me.
Yeah.
I wrote down this is not a $200 whiskey.
I agree.
This to me is probably about we always talk about like $10 a year for a single cask. You're like $10 a year. $10 a year for GlenDronach 15 Revival. I would probably $150. I would have a whole other thought process about this. $15 a year or whatever it adds up to, maybe 12, but $200 for a distillery release 15-year at 46%. I can't justify. I don't think this is a $200 whiskey.
I agree. That's a tough one because the thing is, like we all mentioned when we tasted through it, we like this whiskey.
Mm.
When I tasted it blind in my Advent, it was one of my favorite ones to date in the Advent. Like it's a good whiskey. When you factor that in, then you start thinking about things like, okay, it's like a 15-year-old Sherry Cask whiskey. Man, like $200 for this?
I think you're better off buying a Whiskey Drop Last Call Whiskey Podcast tasting kit and trying it before buying it.
Agreed.
Yes. I like, okay, now when I compare like a Highland Sherry, like a 15-year-old, and I'm going to go to my go-to, which is Glengoyne, it's $115 in Alberta.
Really?
110, I don't know what that site is, but yeah, anywhere from 115 to 150, it looks like.
For a same year?
15 years old Glengoyne. Now, I think the Glengoyne 15 is 43%.
I don't know. I'm still taking that. I'm still taking that for $50 less all day, every day.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I've had the Glengoyne 15. It's delicious. Wait, I got one. Wait for it. Are you ready? It's right here, guys. There it is. $150.
There you go.
You buy this over the GlenDronach 15. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, we can all agree that this is a great whiskey.
Very good.
Am I personally buying it at 200? No.
There's no chance.
No.
Yeah.
There's actually, if we go back through all the whiskeys we've done so far, this is episode 4. That's probably my biggest no buy. This one.
It's the most clear cut, I think.
It's the most clear cut no buy. I think we've had a lot of debates. That's $150 whiskey tops.
Yeah.
Sean?
I'm sorry, I'm just price checking it to see if it's like
I'm pretty sure I looked it up. Yeah, it's legit. $200 almost. It's like right around 200 everywhere.
LCBO says right now 170, but it's big red out of stock on it. So if they get stock in, it's going up.
Yeah.
BC it's 200.
Yeah.
On here it's 200 in Alberta. Even in Scotland, like it's coming up as 80 pounds, which Canadian, that's like 170 right now.
I think I'd take 80 pounds, but then you got to ship it here. So
then you're paying 200.
So,
all right.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
The
reality is, like, there are single cask bottlings of stuff. Like, there's like some awesome James Eady's out there. Like you can get a really good whiskey, like really, really good whiskey for $200.
Tons of better whiskeys than this for 200, and we all liked it.
Yeah, totally
all liked it.
We all said there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
it's the price point.
Yeah, buy the tasting kit. Try it before you buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, Single Cask Nation GlenAllachie 12. So, this is a tough. So here's the thing for me. This is my brand, right? So I'm very biased here. I will say 2 things. Number 1, Whiskey Drops got it at $189, but if you use the discount code PWS Cask Clan, you get 10% off that. So take $18 off of that, and now we're talking. This is like $170. So let's just say 170. 170 for this. Go ahead.
170 for this. It is, what is it, 59%?
Yeah, it's way. Yeah.
59.3.
So you're getting a high ABV. You are getting, for sure, I almost want to even take that. So it's for sure the most unique GlenAllachie I've ever tasted.
Oh, yeah.
But if you even just remove the fact that it's a GlenAllachie, the way we all talked through this whiskey and described it, dude, this is a phenomenal whiskey.
It's really good.
It's really good. So when you put this for 170 with Cask Clan discount up against GlenDronach 15 for 200,
it's not even close.
This seems like I'm stealing.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really hard for me to speak about my own products. And this is the first time I've tried it tonight. So me and my wife watched Pluribus, and Welcome to Derry, the It Show. And I had this whiskey in front of me, and I went between these 3 whiskeys, and I kept going back to this one and being like, Jesus, this is really nice. And so people are gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, it's not dark, it's not. Again, we keep going back to color and all that stuff. Sip this whiskey and tell me this isn't $170 whiskey. It's $170 whiskey.
Oh,
all day
long.
And it's gonna open up too. And we did not talk about this beforehand. We did not even talk about this whiskey because we didn't have time. I actually forgot we were talking about this whiskey. So it's just really good. And
it's complex. It's high ABV. You can water it down if you want to make it last longer. You can takes water. I prove that. You can wet mouth it if you want. It's just refill Oloroso Hoggy for 2.5 years.
Oh man,
it's GlenAllachie like you've never had GlenAllachie if all you know is the new stuff.
It's so dry. It's so dry. Yeah. It friggin' dries my whole mouth.
Yeah.
And Sean, you just said it. If you're one of these people that are loving GlenAllachie right now and loving everything Billy Walker's doing, and you should be, he's doing a great job. Just seriously buy a bottle of this and just compare it to the distillery GlenAllachie 12 just to see how different the distillate is from the cask influence. Both are good bottles.
Yeah.
Compare them and just be like, This is distillate driven. GlenAllachie 12 Distillery is cask driven. Both are cool. Both are delicious. But this is what GlenAllachie 12 distillate tastes like. Pre-Billy Walker, actually.
Yeah. So I'm just looking up like the cask strength GlenAllachie, which is a 10-year-old. It looks like it's around $120. But
that's a good buy. That's actually a good buy. Yeah.
Yeah. And for 10-year-old cask strength, they're on batch 10, I believe now. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you want to compare it to something with Billy Walker cask versus non-Billy Walker distillate and non-Billy Walker casking, this is perfect to do that.
Oh, it's we know there's GlenAllachie fans out there. I'm just saying, just give it a shot. Just try it and just compare. It's really cool.
It's very cool.
And there's lots of people that don't like GlenAllachie because of how cask driven it is. This is the one that they should grab.
This is what they should try. 100%.
100%. I said it earlier. I would never guess GlenAllachie blind on this.
No, not at all.
We should send a sample of this to our arch nemesis, James Bourne. Just be like, this is what happens when you let the... Anyways. Okay, number 3. Ardnamurchan The Midgie. I love the bottle.
Sorry.
I love the bottle.
I'm going to come out right now and just... Even if the price was double, I'd probably be buying this.
Double?
The price at 160 or 170.
You would buy this at 170?
I'd think about it.
Really? I'm not knocking it. I'm just that's a bit high, but
it's a huge statement. Okay. I don't know. Maybe double for me.
Maybe 150-ish range. I'd be looking at it.
It's okay. Let's tell the people what it's worth here.
$85.
And I think it's only in Alberta. I searched LCBO stack. I think it's just Alberta.
And
so if you're
we didn't get the Midgie the first release here, so this is like a new release to Alberta or Canada, whatever.
No.
But yeah, it's the first one, and I know for a fact there was people screaming when they found out that we were getting this one.
Yeah, it's
$85, dude. I'm just if there's a like half decent whiskey for $85, I'm just gonna pick it up.
It's a no-brainer.
At $85, I'm buying 2 probably.
It's what was the one?
Sean,
Sean,
I can't believe Sean just said double this.
Okay, it's good.
I don't know about double. I would pay about one.
Tracting the double 140-ish.
Okay.
I'd probably pay for this.
I'd pay about 115. I think. Yeah. I think about 115.
Yeah, 120.
Yeah. Tax
120, 130.
But no matter what we're basically all saying is that for $85, you were getting a value buy on this.
I think $85 is an absolute steal.
It is an absolute steal. It actually kind of reminds me of when I walked past. It was a Glengoyne cask strength on sale, and it was $84, and I was just like, yoink! Like it's a no-brainer at that price. And I would say I would put this in the same category. $85, just buy it. Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. So when we go through the list, we will say GlenDronach 15 Revival it's just a not buy at that price. We're saying we like the whiskey, but at $200, you can spend your money better elsewhere.
Yeah.
Single Cask Nation GlenAllachie 12. Go to Whiskey Drop. Use the PWS Cask Clan code. Save 10%. Get it for $170. It's a $170 bottle.
Yep.
We're saying that's a should buy.
Yeah. I actually think Single Cask Nation does that really well.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So 1 is a no buy, 2 is a you should buy, And then number 3 is probably a must buy.
Yeah, like if you're a whiskey lover and you leave this on the shelf for 85, don't talk to me.
If you're leaving this on the shelf and spending $200 on GlenDronach 15, you're a fucking idiot.
100%.
Sorry, Brown Foreman. And that's saying GlenDronach 15 is a really good whiskey. We're not even in the whiskey.
Yeah.
No, we all liked it.
It's not a $200 whiskey. You guys have jumped the shark on the pricing of that whiskey.
Yeah.
And that just happens. That's kind of one of those things, right? It's like Octomore. Octomore has jumped the shark for me. I will never buy. We talked about Bruichladdich earlier. I will never buy an Octomore at the current prices.
No.
It's
great.
Bruichladdich has jumped the shark.
But literally, was it last month or the month before when we talked about in our happy hour headlines, like the Brown Foreman, they're closing distilleries, they're closing the cooperage, they're hemorrhaging money, but it's because you're pricing a $140, $150 bottle at $200.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's why you're not making the money you should.
And we sit here, the 3 of us, and this is a whiskey podcast, mostly for Canadian whiskey drinkers, right? So people across Canada, I hope, will listen to this and be like, well, the 3 of these guys just said I shouldn't spend $200 on GlenDronach 15 Revival. Maybe if everyone just fucking says, this is dumb, we're not doing this anymore, maybe the company will say, yeah, no, we shouldn't even be charging that. We know we can charge less. They can charge less. They have the fucking product. And maybe the whiskey price comes down and they're like, oh yeah, no, this is $140 whiskey. And we start buying it again.
It's what price for you guys turns the GlenDronach 15 into a no-brainer?
What's it at 200 right now?
It's at 200 right now. We all liked it.
$10 a year.
What's the price that makes you walk past it and be like, I'm buying this for sure?
Sean, what's your price? That's a good question.
Like I'm going 130 to 140 maybe.
I was gonna say 130.
I think 140 I'd walk right by. I think 130 for sure. Taxes included though.
Taxes in.
But we just compared it to the Glengoyne 15. That's 120 average.
There you go. So actually I changed my answer. It's got to be 120 or else I'm buying the Glengoyne 15.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's not that much. Have you done them side by side, Sean?
No, but I could right now.
Actually, can you do it while we finish this podcast?
Yeah.
I know you have to work at 3 a.m, but we would really appreciate if you do this for the show.
It's only freezing rain and minus 15 right now.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So Sean's going to compare the 100. How much is the Glengoyne 15? 120?
Yeah.
Sean's going to compare the $120 Glengoyne 15 to the $200 GlenDronach 15. I think this is actually very...
I'm excited for this.
Yeah. Jared, should we start our next process, which is... So
What do we...
here's how this all started.
I love how everybody just saw my pajama pants. That's awesome.
That's fine.
Didn't even notice.
Sean, we're going to create our limited edition. I want you to take some time with those whiskeys. Don't talk to us about them yet.
Okay, muting.
I don't want you to rush them, okay? I know you're nosing it, but don't tell us about it. I've been collecting all the Glenmorangie limited releases, and we created a Campbelltown Distillery last episode. I want us to create a limited edition release of whiskeys. So the reason why we thought of this is because we just launched Cloud Cask 2. When I say just, I mean we launched it. This episode is going to air January 1st. When did we launch Cloud Cask? December
8th.
8th. So it might be sold out. But we were talking about this series, which is a limited edition series, is showcasing different styles of Irish whiskey. 6 bottles, 6 different releases. And I thought it would be cool if we created our own limited edition whiskey series. So you get to decide how many bottles, you get to decide what the theme is, and I don't know, sell us on it.
It's yeah, I'll go first because this was super easy for me when you put it in the chat because we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Like Irish whiskey was my first whiskey love. I love Irish whiskey, and what we're doing with the Cloud Cask series is probably exactly what I'd want to do.
That's the easiest answer ever.
Yeah, like I'm just like
we're doing it. I'm doing it in real life.
we're literally doing it, and it is the coolest thing ever. But
Hey.
showcasing to people like what Irish whiskey can be, and yeah, like this is it. We're doing it, man.
Okay, explain the Cloudcast series then in 23 seconds.
Cloud Cask is essentially Sean and I wanting to, like, we both have a deep love and history in Irish whiskey. Both of our families are we're like, our ancestors are Northern Irish. My journey started in Irish whiskey, and I've always loved with other whiskey people being like, try this Irish one though, if there's somebody that turns their nose up at it. And so like what we're doing is we're showcasing in different ways and like caskings, like grains in the mash, what Irish whiskey can be. And so it's awesome. Like we're doing it. We're already doing it. It's what I would want to do.
Sean, do you have a limited edition series you would like to do, or you've kind of created?
Yeah. So this will take some explanation, but thankfully I wrote it down. So my limited edition series idea is called The Royal Dank. And basically, as an independent bottler, I approach distilleries with reputations for dankness. They have 5 years from when I approach them to produce, whether it's something they already have or to distill, but they have to produce their absolute dankiest, funkiest, fun single cask release. So there'll be a total of 12 distilleries that I approach. Each assigned a jack, queen, or king of a card suit. And that forms the main base of the label. Background behind the cards will be hints to what each distillery is built into the background. No one except for me knows which is which. So after a year of selling each one of the initial release, a portal website opens up where you need to enter a specific code for each bottle that you input your rankings. And the rankings are based on dankness. The bottles are only 300 mils each. You can buy the whole set at one time for a discounted price. That way you can do the whole ranking system. Every year, these same distilleries send a new batch and then release, but the cards that are assigned will change every year. That way, if you figure out which was which in the year prior, it changes. And this will all be to crown the undisputed King Dank.
I like it.
And you know what's crazy? Here's the crazy part, because the Cloud Cask has already come to life, but like we can probably make that come to life.
Yeah.
We can find it.
Yeah, I'm sure if we talk to the boys at Two Stacks and just this is what we're looking for, come to us when you have a few samples. And we'll try them.
Well, even Single Cask Nation, I'm sure, has some dankness.
Oh, like
around.
imagine an Irish King Dank.
Yeah,
that would blow.
That could be one of the. That could be number 6 in the series. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess how I came up with this kind of concept for the podcast was I've already been thinking about this. My favorite tasting note in whiskeys is older, usually sherry cask whiskeys that have like that library, old dusty library, leather chair kind of note, right? And it's not easy to find. It's very rare, actually. So my limited edition series is called The Forgotten Library. And I asked ChatGPT to create me a logo. And it's a saddleback leather chair with a lit cigar sitting in an ashtray, nobody sitting in it, and just a glass of whiskey next to the cigar with bookshelves in the background. And it's the Forgotten Library. And my idea for this series is every whiskey in this series has those notes that you're like, you think you're studying at the U of A on a Wednesday at like 11 p.m. cramming for a friggin' final exam, and you're like smelling those leather-bound books, those saddleback chairs, all that dust. And I just think it'd be really cool to start a series of whiskeys all tied to that specific note, just that note.
I love it.
So yeah. I'll post my label at some point. And I have messaged Joshua from Single Cask Nation, who we interviewed tonight, and he just wrote back, interesting.
That's all he said.
I don't know if that means he's into it or that he's like, yeah, fuck, like, yeah, sweet, Trav. I don't know if he's into it or if he's just like, yeah, send me more ideas, dude. My other idea was a limited edition called The Alphabet. And we start with a distillery name that starts with the letter A and we go right through to Z. And if there's no letters with that distillery name, we just make up a name. Like for Z, it's like distilled at Zimmer Jibin or something. I don't know. Zimmer Jibin Distillery. Or you just make up a name. But the alphabet series would be kind of cool. ABC right through to Z. I think that'd be kind of fun too.
That would be.
There's certain letters that you would have to make really hard decisions. G being one of them. All the Glens.
Oh yeah, no.
That'd be
if
hard.
it's the G's, you just figure it out. Yeah. Okay, we gotta wrap this up, boys. We were supposed to be 2 hours. We're 2.5. Yes, between those.
So the biggest difference is GlenDronach is PX and Oloroso. Glengoyne 15 is bourbon and Oloroso. Now, saying that, even though the Glengoyne's at 43%, it still tastes brighter and more flavorful. I think it's got more going on. It's got that tinge of like Glengoyne Oloroso leans towards like the spice side of it, like cinnamon, nutmegs, Christmas spice. And then it's got like a tropical fruit side to it because of the bourbon casks. So yeah, for me, it's Glengoyne at 120 all day.
Not even.
It doesn't even compete.
All right. 2000. No.
Whiskey Club shout out. Every month we do a Whiskey Club shout out. This month it's the Poor Decisions Whiskey Club. POUR, Poor Decisions. They were founded in 2025, just literally earlier this year, by Pamela, Chelsea, and Cassidy. They're basically the Dram Fine podcast girls. Great podcast, great crew. So they started a whiskey club here in Edmonton. Right now they have 45 to 60 members, kind of based on month to month, but they're growing. Sean, you've hosted 2 tastings. They're growing quick. They're growing.
Yeah, and the last one I did last month was the biggest crowd they've ever had, which was super cool. It was their year end. We poured really, really insane whiskey to top off the night. They had this like blow up igloo thing with like pieces of paper, like, you know, those things where you go in and you grab cash, but it was like to win prizes and people were loving that. The coolest thing is it's super inclusive. They host it at a LGBTQ bar here in Edmonton. They encourage beginners, curious drinkers, those that just want to learn more. And now that I've hosted it twice, like the crowd there is awesome. They want to learn, they want to try new stuff, and I've received nothing but positive feedback from them, and it's awesome. They stole our name originally. We were going to call our podcast Poor Decisions, and we had decided that was the name. The next day, they launched this Poor Decisions Club. So
no hard feelings. No hard
No,
feelings.
no, not at all.
No hard feelings, and that's okay because I'm in love with Last Call now as the name.
Yeah, we're the last call. They party earlier. We're the last call.
It's and Sean, like those are the most fun crowds to host for. The people that are just wanting to learn.
Yeah, I agree. I've done private in-house tastings, and some of the best ones are people I don't know. I walk into their house like, please don't murder me, and then they don't really have that much whiskey history at all. And it turns out that those are some of the most fun tastings I've ever hosted.
Totally.
And we say it every episode, but Canada has the best whiskey scene in the world. And the Dram Fine podcast and Poor Decisions are just a part of that whole picture. But what I love what they're doing is they've created a club in Edmonton for people that are trying to get in, maybe not even trying, but just getting into whiskey.
Just curious, even.
Just curious. And they create this atmosphere that is just fun and enjoyable. And they talk about it. I think she said in her, Pamela messaged me, she said, we're like perfect for beginners, curious drinkers, those wanting to learn more. But I think she said somewhere zero snobbery. You're not allowed to be a snob here. You just come, you learn, and I love it. I think it's perfect for what we need right now. I
agree.
As someone who runs events in Edmonton, I've been wanting something like this in our city for a long time. I love it. Sean, tasting kits. What's going on with those?
Yeah. So again, to reiterate, every second episode, we release a tasting kit through Whiskey Drop. They're the ones that put it together. It's the 6 whiskeys, the 3 from each episode of the last 2. Our first one went out after our last episode, and they sold out within, I believe, a week, maybe just over a week. But like we said, this, like, even for GlenDronach 15, if you want to try it before you buy it, you're basically paying, what is it, $55 for 6 whiskeys, so less than $10 a dram. You're getting a full ounce. You can try it. Comes with links to our podcast and tasting notes, stuff like that. But yeah, they've done a really, really awesome job with the kits, and the first one sold out right away. So it's awesome. Next ones will go live January 1st, I guess.
Yeah.
What I want is people buying the kits and then messaging us and saying, you guys are fucking way off. That I really,
same.
I want them to be like, no, this was way better than this or whatever. I want that feedback because we're not fucking geniuses. We don't know everything.
And everybody's palate's different.
Yeah.
Too. So like I'm the same. I would love that. If somebody's like, I totally disagree with you.
I got messages after the first one launched that people that bought them went back and listened to the episodes and drank along with us, which is also a really cool idea.
Yeah, that's the goal, is that people are buying these kits and actually drinking and listening and being like, I didn't really pick up on that. And that's totally fine. Whiskey Drop Club of the Month. This month I'm focusing on the Exceptionalist Club. So this is probably for a lot of people to listen to this podcast. The Exceptionalist is like the higher end whiskey drinker, $350 a month. But you don't have to do every month. You could do every 4 months, every 3 months, every 2 months. But you're going to get a rare, expertly aged, limited run whiskey, something that no one else in the country is probably getting. It's going to be a cool pick. And again, you could do it 3 times a year. Do it every 4 months. And you're going to get something that no one else has. I think it's a really cool... I love how the Whiskey Drop clubs have kind of changed over time. And they're like, we have this group of people that want to spend $350 a month, and we're going to send them something fucking crazy. I've never submitted a whiskey as an importer to that club because I don't have whiskeys that fit that club. Hopefully one day I will, but not right now.
We just need that 50-year-old grain from Josh, Single Cask Nation. Then you can...
It still might not be $350 wholesale, though.
Yeah,
sorry, $350 a month. I don't, man, maybe that'll fit. Sean, can you tell us about Canadian Whiskey Week?
Yeah, so Canadian Whiskey Week, has traditionally always coincided with the Victoria Whiskey Festival, which this year is the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th of January. But this year, I think the event that we have planned is a week before that. So Canadian Whiskey Week will end at the Victoria Whiskey Festival. Reese Sims, who, Flavor Camp, she's done that. She kind of spearheaded the event this year. So she got a bunch of people from across Canada, a bunch of enthusiasts. We each picked a distillery in Canada to focus on and kind of launch. There's a big virtual tasting. We have music at the intermission from I think Chris Gormley, is that his name? The drummer for the Trues. Yeah, he's going to do like an intermission in the middle. So each person basically presents the distillery. Then there's tasting kits with custom tote bags, and the kits are awesome. It's very, very value driven, and you basically get these kits and sip along during the event. I will be proudly presenting Anoka for that. And then the distilleries themselves have a chance to come on and just kind of give a brief history and future sites, what they're looking forward to. So yeah, it's a very, very cool event. And then going forward, we're probably going to try and host a localized in-person Canadian whiskey event sometime that week as well. So yeah, that's you can hit me up on Instagram, Reese Sims, Flavor Camp. All the details are listed on all those pages. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to come out and say it. I think Reese is one of the hardest working people in whiskey in all of Canada.
It's not even close.
Like she's unbelievable. Like she just is grinding all the time.
If she's not doing pull-ups in the gym and making me feel bad that I can't do pull-ups, she's grinding away, creating some weird flavor map thing that I'm like, oh Jesus, that's exactly what that is. Like she's just so good at what she does.
That's how I like my whiskey influencers, able to bench press me.
Yeah.
And I can't remember off the top of my head a few drams in now, but she just recently won a pretty big deal award as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
and she's coming to Drams for Fams. She's presenting this year, first year ever at Drams for Fams. We have no idea what she's going to pour, but she is coming to Drams for Fams in April in Edmonton, which is a huge deal for us. It's like, I'm very excited.
That's awesome. It's she moved to Calgary.
Yeah.
And she used to be in Vancouver, and we didn't see each other a lot, but I was still sad that she left.
Yeah. Well, everyone's busy. Life's busy. Jer,
yep.
You've never been to the Victoria Whiskey Festival, but it's coming up in January here.
No, sir.
Never been to that festival. It's so close to you.
It's so close to me. I really should go. Maybe I'll message Bry Simpson, see if I can share his queen bed with him or something over that weekend. We'll see.
Yeah. It's a great festival. Now that the Edmonton MS and Calgary MS festivals are kind of done for now, I guess all those speakers will still come through Edmonton, Calgary, but they all come to Victoria for that big festival. It's huge. Those guys have created something very cool in that the world whiskey industry knows that this is a very special festival. Mm-hmm. You should go. You really should go. And I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it once in a while, but I presented a masterclass there once.
That's right.
I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to talk about it very much, but I do once in a while like to mention it. But
so if I go, I'm name dropping you all over the place.
If you say my name, you won't buy a drink that whole weekend. You'll never pay for a dram. They'll be like, "Oh, give me your tab. I'll pay it." That's what they say. Sean, it's 11:44. What time are you leaving for the airport?
My alarm is set for 3:25 a.m. So less than 4 hours from now.
You're good for another half hour. Let's keep going.
I literally drive to the airport, sleep on the plane, sleep on the bus, sleep at camp, go in for night shift. It's all good.
Oh man. Thanks
And
for
I was
Sean.
gonna say, if Josh comes out and I'm scheduled to work, I will book vacation to be there.
Yeah. I just want to say on behalf of our 14 listeners, we appreciate your dedication. We really do.
100%.
We really do.
MVP.
Yeah. The parting glass. What's coming up in January? Because this is it's December 8th right now. Wait, no.
Yeah, it's December 8th.
This won't air till January 1st. What's coming up in January as a crew? What's happening? Or just it's the industry.
Well, obviously, like the Victoria Whiskey Festival, Canada Whiskey Week, Robbie Burns Day. I'll be hopefully eating some haggis. But find a new source for that. That's sad. But yeah. Then obviously, like you guys kind of alluded to it in the interview, new Single Cask Nation stuff will be dropping.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
We're having Sean. You're coming to my house, I believe, for a really special Robbie Burns lineup.
I will not be there.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I donated whiskey to the event, and I will not be there.
Maybe I'll take a spot.
You can gladly take my spot.
It's January 24th, I think. We are pouring a crazy Springbank lineup at my house. Like Springbank bottles I've been holding on to for a long time. I know Joshua said to stop collecting Springbank, and I'm going to stop. I'm just going to pour it, and then I'm going to move on to Ardnamurchan.
And you're going to stop. I will say, it's probably cheaper for me to fly to Edmonton than it is for me to take my car on the ferry to Victoria. So,
just come here.
Definitely.
Yeah, come here. Come here for Robbie Burns.
1,000% cheaper.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Robbie Burns Day is it's kind of weird because like I don't know, a lot of people are like, we're gonna celebrate Robbie Burns, and then like a lot of people don't really understand exactly what Robbie Burns Day is all about. And it's kind of a weird holiday. It's kind of a Scottish weird holiday. It's just just a weird holiday. But I love that about Robbie Burns Days. So that's why I'm hosting some people at my house. But like everyone's Scottish for Rob. He was just a poet in Scotland, and he was a bit of an alcoholic, right?
And other things, but yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't the perfect human, but they love him, and it's kind of cool.
And he wrote some great poems.
That
don't make sense to normal English speakers these days, but yeah.
This launches on New Year's Day, January 1st. Single Cask Nation outturn. We had Joshua on the show earlier. So landing in Alberta just after this airs, Ardnamurchan. We have a Ben Nevis. We have a GlenAllachie 17-year.
Ooh.
We have a Glen Spey 14-year. And Joshua specifically said, we don't normally bottle Glen Spey, but this one blew us away, so we had to bottle it. So a really cool Glen Spey. Kensington Wine Market has another cask from Single Cask Nation, which you guys are going to love. It's peated.
Ooh.
It's all I can say. It's peated.
Okay.
And then we have two Glengarrys. One that is tied to the Independent Film Spirits Festival that we've been talking about. It's a limited edition with a special label tied to that festival. And then we just have a regular Glengarry. So for all you Glengarry fans out there, for you 17 Glengarry fans, we have 2 bottles. We need you to buy 4 of each, please. Maybe 5.
The 4 of each, maybe 5.
Yeah, maybe 5.
I will, speaking of multiple bottles, I'm hoping Cloudcast 2 will be sold out by the time that this releases, but
might not be.
I've been sipping on this. I would easily buy 2 of these over one GlenDronach 15. Like easily. I know, biased opinion because I picked the cask, but man, there's a lot more going on with this.
For $125?
For $125, dude,
$125 for
it's a steal.
you get two of these for $250 or one GlenDronach 15 for $200. It's not even
a question.
no.
I did a Heathen's Pour blend of the 3 whiskeys for the night.
And
What's the word?
It's complex. That's the word.
I hope so.
can we just say, as we part the glass, that the three of us are in such a fucking cool, fortunate, fun position
Yeah, man.
that we got to bottle this. And when I say we, my name's not on this, my logo's not on this. But when I say we, I mean we talked about it and everything. But this is what it's all about. No, I shouldn't say that. The whiskey's not. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Getting to do this is what it's all about. Picking
This
a
is
cask
really fucking cool.
is an awesome bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, when I run tastings for people here in Langley, I often say, like, my favorite thing about whiskey is moments like the three of us had in Sean's kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? We were like sitting in his kitchen, pouring awesome whiskeys, eating shitty Cheetos, pizza flavored ones.
Delicious Cheetos. Yeah, delicious Cheetos.
Were they delicious?
Yeah.
They were mediocre.
Yeah.
But man, those are the moments that like really stand out to me over the last 5-6 years. It's like it's the people.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is we are in a position where we get to request specific samples for this series that we're doing. We get to message a guy like Joshua Hatton and say, hey, do you mind staying up till midnight in the East Coast and talking to us about this crazy journey you're on? He has access to one of the biggest Scotch whiskey warehouses in the world. And we just do it, and we're just like, the three of us are just like, yeah, this is just kind of what we do.
Yeah, totally.
We're like, this is just the world we're in. And I think
We just do it for fun. Yeah.
yeah. I think sometimes we take it for granted how friggin' fortunate we are to just be able to like mess. And when I say fortunate, we've worked for this in a sense. We've put in time on Instagram. We've put in time selling whiskey. We've done all these things. This is our world that we love. But we're still very fortunate that we can just message people and be like, let's talk about whiskey for 30 minutes on this dumb podcast that 14 people and Travis's mom listen to.
Like, you're totally right. Like, literally before we went live, like, I leave literally 3.5 hours to go to work for 9 days this time. So I had to create content for 9 days while I'm gone because I cannot do whiskey when I'm there. It's dry. So I spent an hour and just pulled out 9 bottles, and I was like, okay, where in my house? So of course Christmas erupted in our house a couple weeks ago, and I took a bunch of Christmas themed pictures with the tree decorations. But it was like, my wife came down and kind of like caught me in the middle of doing stupid picture shit, and she's just like, this is what you do. Like, this is literally what you do as a hobby, is you post every single day, and oh my god, in 5 days it'll be 5 years straight every single day.
No way.
No, sorry, it I think it passed. I think it was December 3rd. I didn't even realize.
5 years straight?
It's been
No way.
every single day for 5 years. So yeah, I'll make a special post about that. But I
How
literally
many-
had to get pictures. What?
How many of those posts started with, many of you might know, but my first distillery was Glencoyne?
Yeah, like dozens. For sure.
25%.
5 years, Sean?
5 years. I'll look back, but I'm pretty sure it's December 3rd. So
That
it's
is
like
crazy.
we're already
man.
a week into year 6.
I tip my hat to you because I have had years where I take an entire month and I'm just like, I'm kind of done with this. And I take a whole month off of posting.
Can I
Literally, I literally just like went behind me and I just grabbed. I'm gone for 9 days. I'll do 10 just to make sure I have an extra one, and just grabbed 10 bottles. Some are opens, some are not.
Yeah.
And like some are crazy, some are just regular everyday things. But there's always like it's the pictures is the hardest part for me. Coming up with something to talk about on it is not the hard part. I can talk about whiskey every single day and it's fine.
So
But what
we
I
have
love
the
about it
opposite
is,
problem.
yeah, you can take the best pictures in the world.
My
Like-
captions are like, this is good.
Good whiskey, this. But like
tasty?
that,
It's good job.
but that's also like what I love about it is I can go on an hour after I've posted at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there's people already commenting on it, and
Oh,
I
you
love
get
having that discussion.
you get more comments than Jared and I combined.
Easily.
Yeah. I gotta say,
Yeah, like
we should maybe dive into this more in another episode, but like, I don't know, like, what fucking drives you to just spend that much time and like, this is no disrespect, but I'm like, I could never do it. What motivates you to just every day be like, I'm gonna post again. I'm going to tell people about my relationship with Glengoyne. I'm going to tell people that I love our single grain whiskeys. How do you do it?
honestly, it's when people ask me that all the time because they're like, "You post every day on Instagram." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's always whiskey stuff." And they're like, "You're fucking nuts." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah.
It's passion, man. Like it's my way to communicate my passion. Now,
Pure passion.
obviously, we have the podcast, which is also a huge passion, and I'm so happy that we got this going and off the ground. But yeah, it's you know, I made friends off Instagram, lots of friends, and people that comment every day or share my posts every day. And sometimes I feel bad because I don't give them enough credit for keeping the engagement going. But like, if you're out there and you see my stuff, and even if you just hit the like button, like to me that is amazing, and I appreciate it. I thank you. But the discussion is what gets me going, and every so often you'll get a new name that you've never seen before commenting on it, and you're just like, yes, like then they follow you and then they comment on posts after that. Like to me, that's where it's worth. And lots of times, like I won an award as Canada's Whiskey Influencer of the Year, but like
I don't think that was a real word.
But literally, like people will come back to me and be like, "You posted this bottle and talked about it, and I went out and found it and bought it." And
Yeah.
like that's enough for me. If I'm pointing people in the right direction, anybody can go into a liquor store and buy something, just name recognition. But if you dive deeper, literally today on Facebook, somebody in our Spruce Grove account was like looking for a bourbon for a cocktail for a good gift. And, a couple comments with generic everyday stuff. And I was like, listen, if you want to make a Christmas gift, you want to make it special, here's some brands you've probably never heard of. The person you're giving it to probably never heard of. Listed off a bunch. Like, if you want any more recommendations, like, let me know. I can tell you where to buy them. And they're just like, holy shit, like, you know your stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah. Like, I didn't have to do that, but I did it because I want to. I want to. That's the thing. I want to do it.
That's exactly it. I think all three of us, what it really comes down to, none of us would be where we are today if we weren't passionate about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would say I'm actually in the position I am today because Trav and Steve, early days when I was just posting my collection of like 20 bottles, maybe.
You didn't have many.
On Instagram, it was probably 20 bottles. And I liked whiskey, but like, man, if they hadn't like reached out and been like I remember Trav being like, you should come to this Old Perth tasting. And I remember sitting in there being like, I have no business being here. What, like, right? Like sitting there being like, okay, but like Trav reached out, like and it was his passion that made me be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I started photographing whiskey. I was asked at a tasting that I ran on Friday. They were like, how did you get into like working in whiskey photography? And it was the first time I actually really thought about it. And I was like, I just elbowed my way into it. I was like, I'm a whiskey photographer now. Watch out. And I was like, and I just kind of platformed myself that way. But it's because I loved posting it and I loved talking to you guys about it and I loved drinking it. And then it's landed me in a place where I've worked with brands like Macallan and Highland Park and like Two Stacks, who we're now picking casks for. And none of us would have done any of this stuff if we weren't passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is it that when people fly through Dubai, like their airport, which is easily one of the busiest ones in the world, and your artwork is on the displays in the travel retail section there. Like, that's, to me, that blows my mind, and I have nothing to do with it.
Dude, it's crazy. I don't know. Did I tell you that I tried to find it when I had a short layover when we were on our way to Africa in February? And what happened was when we landed in Dubai, we actually realized that we left my laptop at Vancouver security.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So we had been through this whole debacle where our first day trying to get to Africa, our flight was delayed, then our flight was canceled, then we were put on a different flight. We got halfway to Toronto, got turned around because of a snowstorm. So it was like 24 hours of being at the airport or flying. And we got back and we were like, do you want to just go home and sleep and try this again tomorrow? Instead of like staying out here and trying to like keep pushing through. And that's what we did. So by the time we went back and started going through security, I was so amped because we were traveling carry-on only. I was so amped that our camera bag got through, but you have to separate the laptop, that I like quickly zipped it up and just beetled out of there. And it wasn't until we landed in Dubai that I was like, I left the laptop at security.
Way.
Yeah.
So you were there that whole time without a laptop?
So we were there the whole time without a laptop. We had hard drives. So I arranged with the foundation that we were working with to like provide a laptop that we could transfer off of. That all worked out. But when we were in Dubai, I was in scramble mode. So I was like, oh, I need to make sure we have like the right adapters in case their computer doesn't have them. Like, so I was like running around all over the place and I was hoping to see that while I was there, but I didn't have time.
Oh.
Got it. Absolutely.
That's like totally not the same, but flying into Denver airport and like trying to go look at all the crazy ass murals and stuff.
Totally.
Like, I flew through Denver, I don't know, 15 years ago, and we literally had 45 minutes to connect to our next flight. And we were like running through the hallways, like, there it is, click, click, okay, go. Like the crazy ass blue horse that killed the guy that built it. Like,
yeah.
That airport's nuts. That's a crazy story. Like,
that is a crazy story. And I know as a photographer, your laptop's probably just like, yeah, super important on a trip like that. Anyways, we need to wrap this up, boys.
Let's do it.
We're rambling. Listen, it's January 1st when this lands, but I will say Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you had a good Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2026.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh, here's hoping 2026 is better than every year before.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all for listening. All 14 of you. We're going to keep doing this throughout 2026. Jer, Sean, hope you guys had a great Christmas. Hope you have a good Christmas. I don't know.
I spent Christmas Day at work, so
Yeah, Sean,
Oh, it was one of your work Christmases.
that sucks.
I fly up Christmas Eve, so we're doing our like family dinner on the 23rd. Yips on the 24th in the morning. Then I leave at like 4 in the afternoon to head to work. But I fly home and I land at 10:30 on New Year's Eve. So
That's not so bad. That's not so bad.
wherever the family is, I'll drive straight there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll plow through the next year and hope to make this podcast better. But this was a 3-hour episode, which is, I think that's the new norm. It's a 3-hour. It's a 3-hour podcast.
3 hour, man.
Well, like some
Just
of the
keeps
guests
getting
we have lined
longer.
up. Yeah, some of the guests we have lined up in the new year. The guests we have lined up in the new year. I have a feeling that there could be some long interviews.
Yeah, you know what? We're not doing this for any other reason than to have fun. And if talking to people is fun for us, we'll just talk.
100%.
Exactly.
I hope 2026 is a good year for everybody.
Cheers to you. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
The Last Call Whiskey podcast is sponsored by Whiskey Drop Canada. Don't forget that every 2 episodes, you'll be able to order a kit through Whiskey Drop where you can taste through all of the whiskeys that we taste on this podcast. And special thanks to our friends Really Jiggered for the use of their recording of Parting Glass in this episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night.